Hello, everyone. I'm Raven from Raven Comics, and today we'll dive into the full story of Batman Beyond vs. Damian Wayne. This is a compilation of videos designed to cover the story from the return of the Joker to Damian Wayne's return to the Bat family. We start in decades from now. The world believes the Joker is dead, but you think you know the story. What really happened? Well, today, I'll tell you what actually happened. It all starts in Gotham City. Once again, the Joker and Batman are fighting. The city is covered in snow, and the Joker has tied Batman to a snowplow. You know, the Joker hates peace and quiet, so he's going to change that. How? By placing bombs around the city. In a desperate attempt to escape, Batman intentionally breaks his arm to try to free himself. But for now, he hasn't succeeded. Barbara arrives and stands in front of the snowplow, threatening to shoot the Joker. Obviously, he doesn't care and steps harder on the accelerator, crashing into Barbara's patrol car. After that crash, Batman manages to escape and goes after Barbara, but he's not in good shape. Even so, he sets out to chase the Joker again, who is speeding away. Seeing him in the mirror, the Joker starts shooting at him. Batman manages to reach the cabin and with great effort frees a prisoner that the Joker had taken. Then, Batman catches up to him and delivers a powerful kick, causing significant damage. Batman then changes the snowplow's course and sets it on the train tracks. Batman takes the bomb detonator. This Joker's prank could have ended like all the others. You know, Batman beats him, sends him to the asylum, he escapes, and it all happens again. But this time, that won't happen. The train is approaching, and Batman leaves the Joker inside the snowplow. It seems that this time the clown will meet a certain death. We even see him have his last laugh. The oncoming train had a snow blower on the front, and when it reaches the snowplow, it causes a huge explosion. Moreover, the snow blower devours a large part of the snowplow. Batman returns to the scene and finds no trace of the Joker. So it was easy for Batman to think he had died. But what Batman never knew was that the Joker had henchmen following the truck who arrived and took him to a cryogenic chamber. This was to keep him stable before he could die. The Joker remained in that place for years until he was found by this person. The story we just heard was being told by a man named Terminal to Terry's ex-girlfriend, whose name is Dana. Previously, Dana was captured by Terminal, who was holding her hostage. Terminal is the leader of the Jokerz, a group of followers who are deeply loyal to the Clown Prince of Crime. He manipulates them into doing his bidding with the promise that he will one day bring the Joker back to life. The Jokerz are devoted to the Joker, so they will do anything Terminal asks of them. And finally, he says who better than the Joker to be the first to live twice. Suddenly, Terminal receives a message. The Bat is on its way. The Batwing is already outside the location, shooting at all the clown-dressed guys. They, having no chance, retreat. At that moment, Monster Man climbs to the roof and grabs an air conditioning box to throw himself at the Batwing, which he manages to hit, causing some minor damage. But while Monster Man is distracted, Max takes advantage of the moment to shoot at the building and make it collapse. Terminal takes advantage of this and takes Dana hostage, telling them they have 5 seconds to retreat. Otherwise, he will kill her. Matt decides to implement the second plan. Terry, the Batman of the future, appears, but this time he's disguised as a clown to infiltrate the society. His plan is to shoot his own plane. This is so that Matt and Max can escape and make it look like they've been killed. Terry shoots, and there's a big explosion, which was also part of the plan. Max launched some fireworks, causing this effect. Terry arrives and introduces himself to the boss, but the boss says it can't be so easy to defeat Batman. Besides, he finds it strange that Terry arrived out of nowhere and says he's part of the club. Terry shows him a fake ID. This is to make Terminal trust him. The boss believes what he says and accepts him into the Joker's club. Dana is still with him and recognizes that voice. She can't believe Terry is alive and standing in front of her. We go to the Joker's club. Dana is still wondering how this could have happened with Terry, even though they drifted apart because he was busy with other matters. She never stopped worrying about him. She also wonders if he's there to help her or to join the Joker's club. Soon after, Dana takes advantage of a distraction and escapes. Monster Man notices and wants to go after her. Terry tries to stop him. He asks the boss to let him go after her. Terminal agrees, but he tells him he won't go alone and sends all his men to the streets to search for her. After some walking, Terry finds Dana. He tells her he's there to help her. He also asks her to do everything he says so they can get out of there alive. Then they're surprised by other members of the club who want to kill Dana. Terry suggests they discuss it with the boss first. Otherwise, he might get upset. Later, we see everyone with the boss, and he feels blessed to have someone talented on his team. Then he orders Terry to take Dana to the second floor. Terry whispers something in Dana's ear, and Terminal seems to suspect something. Later, Matt and Max arrive at Joker Town, where Max distracts the guards at the entrance so that Matt can enter the place. In the club, Terry and Dana are talking. She tells him that Terminal's plan is to bring a man back to life. Then they enter a room, and Terry is shocked to see the Joker in front of him. He's still preserved, as they have him frozen. Suddenly, Terminal arrives from behind and tells Terry that his plan is to prove that he can bring a man back to life. Moreover, we learn that the boss already knew Terry was an imposter. The boss asks him who he is and what he's doing there. Is he a cop or something more than a threat? Terry responds that he'll be the one to stop him. The boss realizes he's not a cop. He's working with someone dangerous. He's working with Batman, which is why he suddenly appeared to help and pretended to have taken down the Batwing. To Terminal, that was a ridiculous trick. Terry tells him that thanks to that trick, he's standing right in front of him. Then he lands a strong punch on Monster Man. After knocking him down, he goes after the boss, wanting to stop him before he brings the Joker back to life. But Terminal is willing to do whatever it takes to revive the Joker. That's what the people want, and he'll do what they ask. Before Terry can reach the boss, Monster Man gets up and grabs him from behind. Terminal orders him to hang them with ropes outside. Meanwhile, Matt, who has made some progress, finds Dana and Terry. They're hanging outside the bar and being tortured at the same time, receiving small explosive attacks. Inside the bar, the boss has just entered the room where he has the Joker frozen, to whom he attaches a fingerprint scanner to activate some commands and transfer a large amount of money to his account. Terminal mentions that the people praise him because they believe he's trying to bring back their greatest hero. But what they don't know is that the Joker is actually dead, and the one in front of him is a made-up substitute who's been in an induced coma. The computer has finished making all the transfers, and Terminal reveals the truth about this Joker, who is actually Bruce Wayne. He'll never know what he's done for Terminal. Thanks to Bruce, the world will soon belong to Terminal. Meanwhile, outside the bar, Dana and Terry are still being tortured. Terry takes out one of his knives to cut the ropes and free himself. They're about to climb to the roof, but there are already two city clowns waiting for them, one of whom threatens to shoot them. Matt manages to come from behind and distracts them. Terry takes advantage of this and throws one of his knives at the one threatening him with the gun. Another clown tries to take Matt's backpack, but Terry arrives from behind and delivers a strong punch to the clown. Terry asks him what he's doing there, and Matt replies that he brought him a new suit he found in the Batcave. Dana can't believe this. All this time, Terry had been hiding that he was Batman, and she's upset about it. But it's not the time to argue. So, Terry puts on the suit. It's time to face the rest of the clowns. A fleet led by Monster Man arrives behind them and starts shooting at them. Terry can't let his friends get hurt, so he defends them by using his cape to take the bullets. After ensuring his friends are safe, he goes after the clowns. He reaches the first one and cuts off his hand. The others don't know what to do. Their weapons are useless against him. Before they can decide what to do, Terry reaches the rest and takes them out without any trouble. Terry keeps fighting, and Monster Man grabs Dana. If Batman gets close, she'll die. Terry isn't willing to let him hurt her, so he throws a couple of blades, hitting one of his arms. Then he goes after him and delivers a powerful punch to the abdomen, followed by several punches to the face, and so on until he delivers the final blow. In the bar, the boss is with Bruce Wayne when one of his henchmen arrives and tells him that Batman is there. Meanwhile, on the roof, Dana and Terry argue. She accuses him of leaving her without any explanation, but he tells her he did it to protect her. Somewhere else, we see Terminal, who has taken Bruce Wayne's body. Later, Terry and the others enter the room where they had the Joker, only to find that he's gone. The surprise is greater when Terry discovers that the one dressed as the Joker is Bruce Wayne. Terry can't believe he's still alive, as he thought he had died long ago. Well, that's what he believed. So, what really happened? It was during a war. Some criminals cornered Bruce Wayne inside a building. A plane arrived and started shooting at the building where Bruce Wayne was until they brought it down. When Terry arrived, he found no trace of him. So he assumed Bruce was dead. But for some reason, Terminal discovered Bruce Wayne's existence, who is now dressed as the Joker. This is to make people believe that he still exists and gain followers. Although Terminal's true intentions are not to bring the Joker back to life. Somewhere else, Terminal tells his henchmen how he found Bruce Wayne. It was during the war when they attacked Gotham City. He was injured and went to a healing camp. While he was being helped, he realized that Bruce Wayne was behind him. Terminal's motive for keeping him alive was to steal all his fortune and resources. In fact, right now, he's in one of his buildings, about to open a door to access another resource he's been searching for. But when he opens the door, he finds Terry, who was already waiting for them. Batman immediately attacks, and after a tough struggle, he crashes him into some containers nearby. The boss gets up and says they won't be able to stop him. Terminal puts some belts around Batman's neck and electrocutes him with them. Terminal doesn't plan to give up. Meanwhile, a mysterious henchman of Terminal takes advantage of the distraction and wakes up Bruce Wayne. He then tells him that he wants him to see what's happening, although for some strange reason, the henchman calls him an old friend. Terminal is about to take the resource he so desires. But before he can, Terry stops him and tells him that keeping Bruce Wayne drugged and alive like this is inhumane. At the same time, he delivers some powerful punches. Meanwhile, Terminal's henchman is taking Bruce away and saying something to him. Bruce is just starting to regain consciousness, but manages to recognize that voice. Upon reaching the edge of the building, the henchman lets him fall. Terry screams desperately and runs to save Bruce. The henchman tells his boss that it's time to leave. Terminal agrees and asks him to take him far away from this city. Nearby, Max and Matt are present. The latter fires a missile at Terminal's plane, causing significant damage. In the building, Terry has already saved Bruce Wayne, but Bruce asks him to go after Terminal. Terry tells him not to worry. It's a great day. He's back. And the best part is that the Joker was really dead. But Bruce knows the truth about everything. Somewhere else, Terminal and his henchmen are trying to repair the ship. The henchman tells him he was a fool to think he could defeat Bruce Wayne. Terminal gets angry when he hears the way his henchman speaks to him without any respect. If he speaks like that again, he'll be a dead man. Then he asks him to grab that lever to help him. The henchman tells him that without a doubt, using the Joker's name was crazy. Terminal says it doesn't matter. The Joker is dead and can't hurt him. He can use his name as much as he wants. Suddenly, the henchman strikes him hard with the lever and says that no one uses the Joker's name. The mysterious person gives him a series of blows with the lever. Finally, he reveals his face and says that no one uses his name. The Joker is alive, and Batman never could and never will be able to kill him. It all begins in Neo-Gotham, formerly known as Gotham City. This takes place several decades into the future. From above, we see someone being chased. A man tells the girl to surrender, and if she does, her death will be painless. The path ends, and we see that the one trying to escape is Curry. The League of Shadows is behind her. Since she is cornered, she decides to take action and begins to kill the members of the League of Shadows. One of the assassins asks if she thinks she can defeat them. Curry doesn't respond and throws herself off the top of the building. Fortunately, a patrol passes by at that moment, and we see Curry gradually moving away. From afar, the League of Shadows tells her that she's only buying time. Her death is inevitable. We then move to Bruce Wayne, who is arriving at the Batcave. Matt and Max welcome him. They also tell him that nothing has changed in the Batcave. Let's remember that he had been a prisoner, as they had made him out to be the Joker. Bruce Wayne walks calmly. Matt asks if he's okay. Max asks Matt to give him time. He's been through a lot. Bruce says he's fine, but the Batcave isn't the same as before. Family and friends never gathered here before. Suddenly, Terry arrives. He says they had no idea he was still alive. If Terry is going to do Batman's job, he will need his family and friends around him. Bruce says he doesn't mean to offend him. It was just an observation. Terry says he has worked hard to be a good Batman. Gotham City is better, but the rest of the world isn't. Dana interrupts them, saying it's clear they have a lot to talk about, but Dana still hasn't fully processed that Terry is Batman. Plus, she's in the Batcave. Without a doubt, she has a lot to think about. It's time for Terry to leave with Dana. But before that, he hugs Bruce and says it's good to have him back. We move to the police department, where Barbara Gordon has just received some news. Terminal was brutally beaten to death. Someone hit him with a crowbar. Barbara says Terminal was too smart for someone to do that. It has to be someone close to him who is responsible. Either way, Barbara needs to investigate further. Suddenly, Barbara takes a hard hit. The commissioner gets up and tells the culprit they've made a big mistake. Barbara looks up and is shocked to see that the culprit is Crary. She tells Barbara she doesn't want to cause trouble. Her intention is to talk to Batman. She needs his immediate help. Back at the Batcave, Bruce Wayne has just realized that Terminal was killed by an old friend. The Joker is behind his death. Matt tells him it's good to have him back. Terry had a tough time when he was alone. Plus, the suit he had was torn, and they had to use an experimental one. Bruce Wayne examines the suit and says it's the X7. Terry used that suit when it saved his life. Bruce looks a bit worried. That suit is a prototype and very dangerous for its wearer. Terry could die. Elsewhere, Terry and Dana are having a conversation. She's very upset because he never told her he was Batman. He just disappeared from her life, and she thought he was dead. Terry tells her he can't say much about the situation. To Dana, everything he's saying sounds like excuses. They were supposed to be close and have a romantic relationship. Even so, he never mentioned his most important secret, that he is Batman. We return to Barbara and Crary. They're on top of a building, about to turn on the bat signal. Barbara tells her she'll call the bat, but before that, she needs to know what she wants from him. Crary tells her there's no time for explanations. Suddenly, they find themselves surrounded. The League of Shadows has returned. The attack begins, and they do everything they can to defend themselves. At the same time, Terry tells Dana that he realized the mistake he made in hiding that secret from her. But the problem wasn't him, it was Bruce Wayne. He's very intense. When he put on the suit, he was just a kid and didn't know anything about being a hero. So he had to do everything the way Bruce told him. Besides, living two lives is very difficult, and it affected him a lot. Dana tells him she could have helped. She realized he really enjoys being Batman. Back at the police building, the situation has worsened. Crary mentions that the League of Shadows is here to stop her mission. Barbara can't do much to defend herself. The commissioner knows they need reinforcements. Suddenly, Barbara is knocked down and about to be killed. Fortunately, Crary managed to save her in time. Reinforcements have arrived, but they were of no use, as they were immediately killed. Meanwhile, Terry tells Dana that he's seen what Bruce has become. He's an old, lonely, bitter man. Terry doesn't want to end up being a bitter old man like Bruce Wayne. So from now on, he'll prioritize his relationship and Batman second. Terry and Dana are about to kiss. Meanwhile, Barbara has just taken down a member of the League of Shadows and approaches the bat signal to connect it to power and call for the bat's help. The kiss between Terry and Dana is interrupted. She tells him it seems he has to go. Terry says no, he doesn't have to do that. He won't waste his time being Batman. This moment is more important than the bat's disguise. Besides, how bad can this situation be? At Wayne Manor, Bruce is sitting in front of a portrait of his parents. He begins to recall parts of his past. Bruce knows his life was full of accomplishments, although in terms of happiness, it's the opposite. Since the tragedy of his parents, he hasn't been able to be happy. His only escape was to dress up as the Bat and go out alone at night. Although help arrived later, Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, and of course his son Damian Wayne were always by his side. Bruce has always wished his father had met his grandson. Things between Bruce and Damian would have undoubtedly been better. Then they all left, and he was alone again. That was until he met Terry. Suddenly, those memories are interrupted. Max arrives, and the two have a conversation about Terry. Out of nowhere, Matt rushes into the room and asks them to come quickly. A new problem has arisen. As they descend to the Batcave, Matt tells them that the bat signal has been activated for almost 10 minutes, and Terry still hasn't responded. Bruce thinks Matt is a boy full of fire. He reminds him of someone Bruce doesn't want to remember. Faced with this situation, Bruce checks the satellite cameras to see what's happening. What he sees is the League of Shadows attacking Commissioner Gordon. Bruce knows he's her only chance to get out alive. Meanwhile, Terry continues talking with Dana. Bruce Wayne tries to communicate with him, but Terry ignores the call by turning off his phone. Matt tells Bruce that Terry is trying to rebuild his life, and he needs to understand that. Bruce tells him that he needs to understand that people are dying. At the police tower, Curry has just been knocked down. Barbara tells her it's time to escape. It seems no one will come to their aid. Before Barbara can move forward, someone shoots an arrow, hitting her in the back. Then the bat signal's power is cut. Seeing that the signal is gone, Terry comments that maybe it wasn't that important. Suddenly, Dana receives a call and wonders who it could be at this hour. Dana is shocked by what she sees and shows the device to Terry. On it, they see Curry and Barbara suffering. The battle is still ongoing, and Barbara can't remove the arrow. The League of Shadows tells Curry to surrender. She's outnumbered. Curry removes the arrow from Barbara and tells them she will never surrender. She then apologizes to Barbara, as the League is here because of her. The wait is over. After so much time, Batman has arrived to help them. The League of Shadows tries to attack him, but they can't harm him. Terry throws some batarangs, knocking them down. After that, he grabs 2 members of the League and throws them out of the building. From the Batcave, Matt and Bruce watch. Bruce asks where they got the suit Terry is wearing. Matt tells him they found it in his storage and asks if it's the prototype. Bruce says yes. That suit should never be used again by anyone. Terry apologizes to Barbara. She tells him it's fine. All she needs is for him to take care of the League. More members of the League have arrived. Terry says they won't be a problem. Batman pulls out some bombs from his suit and throws them, causing a small explosion. More enemies arrive from behind. Terry knows they won't be a problem. His attack begins. Barbara knows these attacks are brutal, and she asks Terry if he's not going too far. From the Batcave, Bruce realizes the severity of the situation with Terry's suit, so he asks him to return. Terry says he will once he's finished. Bruce tells Terry he has already won. Now he needs him to return to the Batcave. Terry says not yet. First, they need to know what she's doing here. She shows him a video where someone says the following: "Our world is in danger. Indifferent and overfed humans have brought us to the brink of death. This is over. We will seize this disaster and turn it into an opportunity, one we will exploit. Now we have the means to purge humanity and reshape the world as we see fit, no matter the cost." The video ends, and Terry can't believe Ra's al Ghul is still alive. From the Batcave, Bruce asks him to return. That suit is a very dangerous prototype. Terry says he can't do that. Ra's al Ghul is still alive, and he has to stop him. Bruce tells him he's right, but he needs to return with that suit. After that, they'll deal with Ra's al Ghul. Terry refuses and says they have no choice. If they don't fight today, it will be too late. Before Terry and Curry leave, a new enemy arrives. This is Ghul, the demon's right hand. Ghul tries to land the first blow, but Batman and the others manage to dodge it. Terry returns to the battle to finish Ghul once and for all. Curry tells him to forget it. They need to leave. Terry says he will stay and fight. Suddenly, Ghul punches him in the face. Terry defends himself and knees him hard in the face. Curry insists on leaving. If they want to stop Ra's al Ghul, they need to leave now. Ghul won't let them escape. Curry exits the ship and prepares to face him. She has already set the ship on autopilot to take Batman to Ra's al Ghul. Batman leaves, but we see that Curry was no match for Ghul, as he easily defeated her by impaling her with his sword. Back at the Batcave, Matt asks what the problem is with the suit. Bruce tells him that the suit has an artificial intelligence with a single purpose. Batman must always win. It doesn't matter if the man inside the suit can't. Many years ago, he was fighting Bane. Without realizing it, his vertebrae had cracked. He couldn't get up anymore, but the suit stood him up and kept him fighting. Bruce didn't realize his vertebrae were broken until he took off the suit. The suit was badly damaged, and that's why he was able to remove it. The injuries the suit left him were so severe that from that moment on, Batman was finished, and he had to retire and pass on his mantle to someone else. Meanwhile, Terry is after Ra's al Ghul. One thing is certain, they will both die in that fight. Bruce sees no way they can both survive. Terry is about to reach Ra's al Ghul. Suddenly, the ship is shot down by a missile. Terry managed to emerge unscathed from the attack thanks to the suit. We're outside the League of Shadows base. Several guards come out to try to take him down. Terry knows they won't be an obstacle. Back at the Batcave, Bruce tells Matt and Max that they need to find a way to stop that suit. It will take a lot of time, so he asks for a cup of coffee. The two are in the kitchen. Suddenly, through the window, they see the Batmobile leaving. Bruce won't let Terry or any of them handle this. The demon is Bruce's problem, not theirs. Meanwhile, Terry has already taken down all of the demon's guards, and now we see him standing in front of Ra's al Ghul. The battle begins. Terry tells him it's time for him to die. The demon asks him since when does Batman seek to kill his enemies. The demon has realized it. He's not the real Batman. From the Batmobile, Bruce says Terry has no idea what he's just gotten into. The demon is deadlier than he assumes. Also, he's not the man Terry thinks he is. He's much better trained. The demon is incredibly fast and very intelligent. Plus, he's not the old man Terry expects him to be. On the contrary, he's much younger than Terry thinks. The real Ra's al Ghul is gone and has been replaced by Damian Wayne. We begin with Terry. Let's remember that previously, Khoury had been searching for Batman. The demon had returned. Terry, with the intention of helping Khoury, went to the League of Shadows base. It's worth mentioning that Terry went without Bruce Wayne's permission, who had asked him many times not to go there. Terry was in for a big surprise while fighting the leader of the League of Shadows. The demon wasn't Ra's al Ghul, but another Wayne. Bruce always knew his son was the new leader, which is why he didn't want Terry to confront him. He knows he's no match for his son. This is definitely something Terry never expected. The Batman of the future wonders if the person standing in front of him is Damian Wayne. The armor does a retinal scan and a voice analysis. The suit confirms it. The person in front of him is the son of Bruce Wayne. Since Terry became Batman, he had always wondered what happened to Damian Wayne. Why did Terry take on the mantle of Batman instead of Damian? Terry asks him why he chose this path. Before Damian can explain what happened, he lunges at Terry to attack him with his swords. A battle begins. Terry doesn't understand why Batman never mentioned this to him. What on earth could have happened? Could it be that Damian was Batman, but ruined it? Maybe Damian was never up to his father's level and couldn't be a good Batman. Damian tells him he's wrong. It's clear that Damian is on par with any Batman, and is even better than the Batman of the future. Terry needs a suit to be effective, whereas Damian doesn't need any of that. The fight is interrupted by several ninjas who arrive to try to help their leader. Damian tells them to stand back. He will be the one to defeat his father's emissary. The battle resumes. Terry tells him he's no emissary. In fact, he's here of his own free will. Bruce has no idea he's in this place. Damian tells him he's naive to think Bruce doesn't know he's here. That only shows his naivety. Of course, Bruce knows where he is. He also knows that Terry won't be able to compete against Damian. It seems that's true. Terry can't do anything against his opponent's blows. Suddenly, the suit's protocols activate, entering a defensive mode. This is to prevent Terry from suffering from the heavy blows he just received. The suit tells him his opponent is an expert in all forms of personal combat. This is definitely the most complete opponent Terry will never be able to beat. Batman tells his suit to be quiet. He's good enough on his own. He has to use all his skills to defeat Damian. The leader of the League begins to attack him again. Suddenly, the suit activates more protocols, this time lethal attack measures. Batman counterattacks and manages to break one of Damian's swords. Terry tells him that adopting his grandfather's evil ways was a mistake. Damian replies that the only one making mistakes here is Terry, as he's trying to adopt Bruce Wayne's methods. We cut to Bruce Wayne. Due to his old age, he struggles to climb the mountain. While climbing, he recalls what happened with Damian Wayne at that time. Bruce remembers how Damian turned his back on him years ago. His son decided to go with his grandfather. That was something that greatly upset Bruce. At one point in his life, Bruce realized he could no longer be Batman. In a conversation with Damian, the latter told him it was obvious that this would happen. Besides, he had already undergone 3 major surgeries on his spine. After living in Europe, Damian returned to his father. Bruce thought he had forgotten about Gotham City. Damian tells him to enjoy living in Europe, but that doesn't mean he will let Gotham suffer, especially since his grandfather invaded the city in Batman's absence. Ra's al Ghul is about to launch an attack. He remains convinced that humanity will destroy the Earth. Overpopulation, war, and environmental sabotage have caused great harm to this planet. Ra's al Ghul won't allow this planet to be harmed, so he will make sure mankind disappears. Bruce asks Damian if he's there to defend Gotham City or his grandfather's ideals. Damian tells him he's there because his father can no longer defend the city. Damian hasn't spoken to his grandfather in a long time, but the signs of an upcoming attack are very obvious. It's as if Ra's al Ghul wanted them to know about the attack. The League has arrived, and it seems the ninjas have obtained some technological upgrades. Damian says his grandfather adopted technology in a way he never did before. Bruce tells him that perhaps he realized he needed technology to fight against technology. Damian tells him he'll be able to stop his grandfather. Damian puts on his father's suit, becoming Batman at that moment. Bruce asks him not to do it. Wearing that suit will push him to his limits and make him lose control. Damian tells him he stopped being Robin a long time ago, but the time to be Batman has come. There's no suit that could make him lose control. Damian went after the League of Assassins and attacked them with great ferocity. Even Bruce felt a chill after nearly 4 hours of fighting. Damian had wiped out most of his grandfather's army. The suit somehow gave him a small push to unleash his true self. Damian had become something even Bruce could not recognize. Bruce contacted Damian to ask him to stop. Obviously, his son refused. Bruce went to the scene, but by the time he arrived, there was no one left. The only thing remaining were pieces of the suit. Bruce realized that the attack on Gotham City had a single purpose, and that was to recruit Damian. That's why the attack was so obvious. Ra's al Ghul knew that if Damian used the suit, his dark side would completely emerge. With that, he could convince him to join his cause. Since that day, Bruce never saw his son again. Meanwhile, the fight between Batman and Damian continues. Terry tells him that his sword is broken. Without it, he won't be able to do much damage. Damian tells him he's more foolish than he thought. He doesn't need his weapons to win this battle. Not when he can use his opponent's weapons against him. Damian attacks Terry with his own bombs. The battle has moved outside the base. Damian grabs another sword and charges at his opponent again. Since Damian has already used this suit, he knows exactly how it works and is familiar with its strengths and weaknesses. He knows the exact frequency needed to interfere with its cyber link. Damian activated some speakers, which caused significant damage to Terry. Damian then pounces on Terry to start beating him. The leader of the League reveals that he manipulated Quarry to search for him and bring him to their headquarters. Terry tries to defend himself, but his suit isn't working. It's true that Damian wanted Batman to be in this place, but more than anything, he wanted the original Batman. We return to Bruce, who is still moving forward. He is aware that if Damian sends any enemy his way, he won't be able to do much to defend himself. As he continues, he wonders why Damian would have tried to bring him here. Could it be that he wants to fight Terry to rid himself of some guilt? Or does he want to get his hands on the suit? After asking himself several questions, everything becomes clear. Bruce has finally reached his son, and Damian welcomes him. He tells his father that he arrived just in time to watch his successor die. We have more flashbacks when Bruce first met his son. He saw him as brazen and defiant, someone confident in himself. Damian was secretly raised by his mother, Talia. Batman didn't know of his existence for several years. Talia's purpose was to mold her son into the next leader of the League. When Bruce met his son, he realized that Damian was on the path to becoming a monster, but eventually, he began to shape him to become his successor. Unfortunately, what we just saw happened, and Damian became the new leader of the League of Shadows. We return to the present. Bruce asks his son not to kill Terry at the last moment. Damian buries his sword in the snow and says he would never kill a weak and compromised opponent, especially if his opponent is as weak as this one. Killing him would bring no satisfaction. Damian just confirmed one of his theories. Bruce would never come here for his son if he didn't when Damian left with his grandfather. He would do so even less now that he's the leader of the League. Bruce is here for his successor. Bruce says he wanted to come, but was imprisoned by terminal illness. Damian was aware of his situation. He knew that as long as Bruce's bank accounts remained active, he was still alive. Damian never did anything to save his father because he knew Terry would do it at any moment. Bruce asks if he's jealous. Damian says no, that he would never be jealous of someone so inferior. In the distance, Terry is recovering. His suit is activating its attack protocols. And as if that weren't enough, he's getting angry at all of Damian's comments, which make him feel inferior. Batman gets up and attacks Damian from behind. Bruce knows that the only way Terry can beat Damian is if Damian makes a mistake in battle. But that's virtually impossible. They face each other. Terry throws a few batarangs at Damian. The demon destroys them effortlessly. Damian tells him he had the element of surprise on his side, and he could have used it more effectively. Terry says this battle isn't over yet. Bruce pleads with them to stop. There's no reason for them to fight. Damian says there is. In fact, it's a debt long overdue. Damian's skills are impressive. He has improved greatly since the last time Batman saw him. His skill and agility are on another level. Undoubtedly, Damian has surpassed his father. Terry has fallen to the ground once again. Damian demands that he get up and continue fighting. Terry's feet are forced to fight. His body returns to the battle. The suit has taken control of his body. Damian prepares. He already knows the suit's protocols and knows what its next moves will be. Batman charges at Damian, trying to cut him with some blades. The attack was strong, but Damian managed to stop it. Damian knows that Terry has given his body over to the suit. Because of this, Damian will no longer hold back and will attack with all his weapons. Damian attacks with his pet, Goliath. This is the last of the Bat Dragons. Damian was a child when he took it in. In response to these attacks, the suit analyzes the enemy. Batman strikes with a shockwave, which causes great damage to Goliath. Goliath recovers, then grabs Batman and slams him into the ground. Damian tells his father that Terry doesn't know how to fight. He's truly a useless replacement. Bruce asks why Damian organized all of this. What was the purpose of bringing the two of them to this place? Damian says there was no purpose. After all, Bruce came because he wanted to. Though he does wonder why it took Bruce so long to come. Bruce says he thought Damian would come to his senses and return. When Damian left, Bruce assumed the suit had brought out the worst in him. Damian says Bruce always blames the suit for everything. The truth is that Damian left because he wanted to. The suit had nothing to do with it. One day he returned, but to his surprise, his father already had a replacement. It was clear that his presence wasn't needed. Bruce can't believe all of this is because of Terry. Moreover, when Damian left, Bruce tried to find him everywhere. Damian tells Bruce not to lie to himself. He's Batman, and he can find anyone he wants. He simply didn't want to find Damian. Despite that, Damian holds no grudge. He left because he realized that Batman is only concerned with protecting Gotham City. His grandfather's vision has always been focused on saving the entire world. Ra's al Ghul needed a successor urgently. The leader had regenerated so many times in the Lazarus Pit that he couldn't do it anymore. His time as an immortal had come to an end. But what was the reason Ra's al Ghul recruited him? The leader explains his plan. His goal has always been to save this planet and its nature. He always believed that humanity would be responsible for the planet's demise. Therefore, the two of them worked together to create something that could wipe out humanity without harming the planet. Unfortunately, his grandfather died halfway through. He didn't live to see the fruit of his efforts. From the beginning, Damian believed in his grandfather's ideals, and he will be the one to wipe out humanity with these missiles. Bruce tries to stop him, saying he won't let him launch those missiles. Damian tells him there's no way he can be stopped. He brought Bruce here to witness the next step in Earth's evolution. Bruce is here only to see Ra's al Ghul's dreams fulfilled soon. The Earth will be purified. Bruce tells Damian that this isn't who he is. The suit altered his mind. Damian says he's wrong. He's exactly who he was created to be. Suddenly, Terry gets up. He's recovered, and the first one he begins to attack is Goliath. Terry tells Damian that he admires the cruelty of his actions. He acts without caring about the costs. Terry uses chains to strangle Goliath. Damian's pet has just been killed, and now it will be Damian's turn to die. We begin with Damian Wayne, the demon of the future, who is extremely angry. Terry has just killed Goliath. and Damian is preparing to finish off his enemy once and for all. From a distance, Bruce can only watch as his son Damian fights against the young man he considers his son, Terry, the Batman of the future. Damian is the first to strike. The suit Terry is using is equipped with a system to ensure the success of the mission. After that, the suit's priorities are victory and survival. That's all that matters to the suit. This system has sidelined Terry, and now the suit has control of his body. The bond between Damian and Goliath was formed years ago when he was just a child. Goliath's death has blinded Damian with rage. Neither will back down. Both will fight to the death and end up like poor Goliath. Bruce wonders if, at this point in the story, the best thing he can do is wait for one of them to survive, though it's more likely that neither will. Meanwhile, Damian is giving Terry a tough fight. The demon's training makes him unbeatable. Terry throws some bombs at him, telling Damian that maybe things aren't as they seem. Obviously, Damian doesn't credit Terry's attacks, as the suit is enhancing Terry's strength and speed. Damian has also worn this suit and knows all its secrets. There is no weakness or resource he doesn't know. Damian uses his skills to remove some bombs from Terry's suit. On the other hand, Bruce is busy checking Damian's machinery to stop his missiles before they're launched. Bruce knows he's in real trouble, but he wonders if Damian actually wants to use the missiles or if this is all part of some revenge against him. All Bruce hopes is that Damian was just talking and doesn't actually launch any missiles. Bruce accesses the missile computer and tries to shut them down. Unfortunately, he can't get into the system. In Terry's battle against Damian tells Terry that the problem with carrying weapons is that the opponent could also take them and use them against you. Damian throws the bombs he took from Terry's suit. The suit's alarms go off. This is a red alert. The suit has started to malfunction, and energy levels are dropping to 32%. Damian stands in front of his opponent and calls him a pretender. Terry gets up and tells Damian to stop calling him that. The suit may be weakened, but it still has enough energy to defeat his enemy. Damian tries to strike with his blades, but they break. In the central computer, Bruce is still trying to get into the system. He used to know all of his son's passwords and codes, but for now, nothing he knew is working. More trouble for Bruce. A new enemy has arrived, and he won't allow anyone to stop the demon's plan. This new enemy is Ghul. His father died because of Bruce in the worst possible way. Ghul knows that the great Ubu deserved a better death. Ghul grabs Bruce and slams him into the central computer. Bruce's constant victories over Ubu led the League of Shadows to no longer want him in their ranks. As a result, Ubu decided to tear away what little honor he had left by taking his own life. Ghul won't allow Bruce Wayne to keep hurting people or do anything similar to anyone ever again. It's time for Bruce Wayne to die now while he's defenseless. Meanwhile, Damian Wayne is battling his enemy. The demon only watches as his father suffers. Damian orders his subordinate to stop. Ghul doesn't listen. Terry also wants to help Bruce, but his suit doesn't allow him to do much. The suit's primary mission is to defeat its enemy. Terry uses all his strength to momentarily stop the suit from controlling him. Ghul tells Damian that he doesn't care if Bruce is his father. Bruce Wayne will die now. Damian tells him that when he gives an order to stop, he must stop. Damian grabs Ghul from behind and pulls him away from his father. Terry asks Bruce if he's okay. Bruce tells him to take off his mask. Meanwhile, in the Batcave, Matt and Max have managed to access satellite images and see what's happening in the mountains. The bad news is that they can see the missiles are ready to launch. Unfortunately, they don't know how they're going to stop them. In the mountains, Damian is still angry with Ghul. When the demon's head gives an order, it must be obeyed. Suddenly, the suit takes control of Terry again. The Batman of the future lunges at Damian, intending to attack him with a protocol of blows. The suit draws a blade and orders Terry to finish his opponent now. Bruce arrives and tells Terry to stop. If Terry thinks Bruce will let anyone kill his son, he's dead wrong. First, he'll have to kill him. Terry tells him he can't stop. Batman throws the final punch, but misses. Bruce realizes that Terry managed to miss on purpose. Now he urges Terry to fight against the suit and take control again. After a hard-fought battle, Terry removes the suit's mask. Bruce feels happy to see that Terry managed to defeat the suit. Now, if Damian orchestrated all of this to bring his father to this place after so many years, his message is more than clear. But deep down, Bruce knows that mass-scale death is unthinkable and that this plan belongs to Damian's grandfather, not to him. Damian has always struggled between the life he had with his father and the life he had with his mother and grandfather. Bruce understands all the problems this caused him. On one hand, Damian could be Batman's heir, and on the other, the heir of the demon. Either way, this is not the way to solve things. Bruce pleads with Damian to abandon this plan and not wipe out humanity. The Earth has enough problems right now without Damian making things worse. That would only make things worse. The best option would be for them to work together to find a real solution. Damian is about to press the button to launch the missiles. At that moment, Goliath wakes up. Bruce tells Damian that Goliath was just unconscious while they were fighting. Bruce took the opportunity to inject him with a little adrenaline to wake him up as quickly as possible. Terry is grateful that Goliath is still alive. He never wanted him to be dead. Damian and the others had forgotten about someone. Karu also regains consciousness and takes the chance to activate the missiles. Damian may have betrayed Ra's al Ghul's ideals, but that doesn't mean Karu will. Karu activates the missiles. The missiles contain DNA toxins designed to eradicate everything except the strongest. Damian gets angry and delivers a powerful blow to Karu. That decision should have been Damian's, not Karu's. Bruce asks Damian to redirect the missiles. Damian tells him that's impossible. Once the missiles are launched, there's no way to change the targets as they are locked in. Terry tells them not to worry. He will be the one to stop the missiles. Terry puts on the mask and prepares to take on the task of stopping these missiles. From a distance, Bruce tells him to stop. Damian asks his father if he's afraid that the suit will take control of Terry again. The suit can be defeated. Damian did it a long time ago, and Terry is capable of doing that too. Bruce hopes that's true. Right now, the suit is in terrible condition, but that weakness could be Terry's downfall. The suit might not withstand completing this mission. Terry is activating various commands to stop the missiles. The suit tells him that the attacks might be ineffective, as power levels are at 53%. Terry just hopes this will work. Batman begins to stop the missiles. The suit's power levels are getting lower, but if he doesn't hurry, the toxins will be activated and mix with the environment. So far, 4 missiles have been stopped, and now only 1 remains. The last missile is about to enter space. Batman asks the suit to try to pull the missile back, but most of the suit's functions have stopped working. There's not much he can operate with the suit at this moment. Terry asks the suit to increase oxygen, but the reserves are depleted, and the suit has stopped functioning. The power levels have dropped to almost 0. The missile escapes, and Terry begins to fall. Besides that, he can't breathe. In the Batcave, Matt is aware of the situation, so he tilts Bruce Wayne's satellite slightly to place it in the missile's path and cause an explosion. The missiles have been stopped. The downside is that Batman is in free fall. Max tries to communicate with him, but he doesn't respond. Bruce tells Max not to worry. He and the others will handle saving Terry. Damian asks his father to increase the altitude a bit. Bruce tells him he can't do that, as they are above the altitude limit. Damian leaves the Batwing to try something different. Bruce tells him he only has 1 chance, and to succeed, he has to align himself perfectly. Damian does it and arrives just in time to catch Terry. Matt and Max celebrate this feat. Bruce would have never thought this day would end with Damian saving Terry. It's good to see that he can still be surprised even in his old age. On the mountain, everyone says their goodbyes. Bruce would like his son to come with them. Damian tells him that for now, he won't, but maybe later he will. Terry tells him that when that happens, they'll throw him a big party in the Batcave. Bruce comments that the offer for Damian to return will always stand. If Damian wants to make the world a better place, they can do it together. Damian tells him that eventually he will, but for now, there are positive things he can do as the leader of the League of Shadows. After a strong embrace, Bruce and Terry leave. The latter tells Bruce that it's okay to be a father. Bruce tells him that feeling like he has 2 sons is much better than just having 1. We begin decades from now. We are on a train where Elena tells her father that as the mayor of Bloodhaven, he should respond to the chief of police. "Would you like to draft your response right now?" she asks. Something is wrong with Mayor Grayson. He becomes very pensive, lost in thought. The reason is that every time he returns to Gotham City, this happens. It's all because of the ghosts from his childhood, those things that traumatized him when he was young. It's not just returning to the city, it's the train itself. This was where he faced his greatest fear, and we will relive that memory now. It feels as if it all happened just yesterday, on this very train where Batman and Robin faced off against the Joker. Batman warned Robin to be careful, to not take unnecessary risks. Robin asked how the Joker managed to take control of an entire train, but Batman said that didn't matter at the moment. The important thing was to stop him. As they inspected the train, Batman discovered some explosives. They had to remove them, but just then, the Joker arrived. "Joker is here," Robin warned Batman. "You should speak to him with more respect, for to him, it's Mr. Joker. Didn't your boss teach you manners? If not, Mabel will," the Joker quipped. Robin probably wondered who Mabel was, but let's just say she has her way of making herself understood. The Joker fired, and Robin dodged effortlessly. Mabel missed, the Joker taunted. "She won't like that, unless maybe she wants to put a hole in this tank." Robin asked Batman what he was thinking. Batman explained that the tanks were filled with deadly laughing gas. The Joker planned to blow them up in the middle of Gotham City, which would kill thousands. "Hopefully more," the Joker added, relishing the thought. They were heading toward the worst part of the city, where people were miserable and hated their lives. The Joker planned to explode the tank, release the gas, and give them a sweet, quick death. They'd have the pleasure of dying with smiles on their faces, and they'd thank the Joker for it. But Batman sprang into action. He wouldn't let that happen. He grabbed the bomb and tore it off the tank. It caused a small explosion as it fell, but since it was no longer on the tank, no harm was done. For the first time as Robin, he felt the euphoria of it all coursing through him. But that day, fighting that maniac with a gun just inches from his face, that was the first time he truly felt fear. He was too young to realize the danger he was in, too caught up in the adventure to notice that the day would come. The Joker had Robin, but Batman made him fall off the train with a single punch. Back then, Robin had Batman to save him. But what happens when Batman doesn't save Robin? Well, then we have the events that happened with Jason Todd. That's why Dick Grayson didn't want his daughter, Elena, to be involved in all of this. He felt she should find other ways to contribute to society. To his daughter, this seemed a bit unfair, but what Dick Grayson wanted was for her to have a safe life. Dick was about to tell her something about her mother, but Elena interrupted him. "It's not necessary, I know," she said. "Enough of the past. We need to worry about the present. And why are we going to Gotham in the first place?" Now we shift to the Batman and Robin of the future. Matt asks Terry what will happen when he has a really good question. Batman tells him that no matter how new he is at this, it's not feasible. They both proceed to the crime scene. The truth is, Terry doesn't like it at all and isn't thrilled about the world knowing about him. It's better to keep the existence of a Robin under wraps. They arrive, and Robin introduces himself to Commissioner Gordon. Batman asks about the situation, and Barbara tells him that this is something out of the ordinary, even for Gotham City. Batman says it's hard to surprise him. After all, he's seen too much. But when they enter the house, their expressions change. "Are you sure about what you said?" In this place, there are a few dead Jokers, or what's left of them after 300 hungry rats devoured them. This is dangerous. Batman tells Robin to leave and watch the perimeter. Once Terry and Barbara are alone, she tells him she doesn't approve of him having this Robin. He's too young for this garbage. Besides, these are the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th Jokers to be killed this month. Barbara says there's no definitive evidence yet, but she suspects it's the same killer. After all, murdering so many Jokers in this way has a pattern. Speaking of other things, she supposes they'll see him tomorrow at the ceremony. Batman and Robin leave. They won't be seen unless something comes up. The next day, we are live from the heart of Neo-Gotham. There's a complex of buildings that has been under construction for years, and the Wayne Family Center of Tomorrow will open its doors for the first time. On top of the building, Matt tells Terry that they should be investigating to find out who killed those Jokerz. Terry tells him it's too soon. This is a big event for Bruce. They have to be here. This building is his legacy, a testament to everything he has done. A few seconds later, the old Bruce arrives at the building. The first thing he does is ask Terry about the latest on the Joker's deaths. Terry says it's something horrible, and Matt adds that Commissioner Gordon hasn't found anything connecting the murders to the Jokerz. Bruce leans in and tells Terry that it's out there and they need to count on it. The question is, why are they doing it? Suddenly, another transport arrives. It seems the group is complete. Dick Grayson is here. Bruce says it's good to see him again, and also Elena. How long has it been? I should introduce you. This is Terry and his younger brother, Matt. Matt, say hello to Mayor Dick Grayson. The mayor asks Matt to just call him by his name. There's no need to call him Mayor. Dick introduces his daughter, Elena. You two should get to know each other. Dick Grayson and Bruce are left alone. Dick takes this opportunity to confront Bruce. There have been rumors of a new Robin. When are you going to stop all this and stop recruiting kids? Bruce tells him that Matt is good and talented. He'll be fine. Once they enter the building, Bruce thanks Dick Grayson for coming. He's genuinely happy that he's here. Dick says he wouldn't miss it. He knows how much all this means to him. But what about Damian? Where is he? Bruce says things are better between them, but Damian is still in the Himalayas. Meanwhile, in the Himalayas, Damian Wayne is observing all of this. Bruce and Dick Grayson walk out to the conference. Dick finds it odd that Bruce is making a public appearance in broad daylight. Should I be looking for the real Bruce Wayne? Bruce tells him it's good that he can still surprise him. Dick says he's been full of surprises all his life, though it's rare to do so in public. But enough of that, the president of Gotham will give a speech. Let's introduce the man who has made Gotham City a better place. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Bruce Wayne. As many of you here know, his father, Lucius Fox, worked most of his life for Mr. Wayne. Now, as the mayor of Gotham, it is both a personal and professional honor to preside over today's ceremony. The history of Gotham is filled with tragedies. Yet they have gone from being one of the most notorious cities in the world to a shining beacon of hope. They are now Neo-Gotham and stand at the pinnacle, the renaissance in which they left behind the dark days of the past. No one, with the possible exception of Batman, has done more to lead them into tomorrow than Bruce Wayne. The Waynes have been a cornerstone in Gotham since the beginning. What better day to reinforce that than today, the centennial of Dr. Thomas Wayne's birth? Especially since Mr. Wayne will hand over this advanced building to the city, complete with the latest technology as a way to lead Gotham into this great new era. While the mayor is giving this speech, someone in the distance is watching, a figure among the crowd. To him, this is nothing great. No, sir. Meanwhile, Elena tells her father that the way he always described Gotham to her made it sound like a dark city. But how exactly did it improve? Well, Dick will tell his daughter a story about Batman from the past. Grayson tells his daughter that it wasn't easy. It started a few years before he left. As technology advanced, so did Batman's methods. He became even more effective. Bruce always said it all started with the Joker's death, as a catalyst that drove the city forward, and all of that was years ago. Let's travel back in time to learn a bit more about this. The city was frozen. The one responsible for this was Mr. Freeze. Victor tells Batman that he won't stand still while Gotham destroys its past. His beloved, deceased Nora loved it just the way it was. The Bat has to let him preserve it in ice forever, frozen as a tribute to Nora. Obviously, Batman wasn't going to let that happen. The war for Gotham's soul grew more intense. The city's criminals understood what its citizens and politicians did not. The technology and the way Batman used it meant that the battlefield had changed. The time had finally come, but they weren't going to give up without a fight. Mr. Freeze attacks Batman with an ice beam. Gotham must remain as it is. It's beautiful. The architects of tomorrow will not succeed. Batman was frozen, but he wasn't alone. Mr. Freeze might have succeeded if Batman worked alone, but that's not the case. War is a savage environment where the brutality of one side only evokes the same from the other. Red Hood was a perfect example of this. Jason had placed a bomb in Mr. Freeze's helmet. Batman begged him not to do it. Jason had embraced violence in a way that the rest of them had not, the result of what the Joker did to him during his time as Robin and the tragedy that struck him later in life. Batman breaks free from the ice. That wasn't necessary. Red Hood unleashes a brutal series of blows on Mr. Freeze. Batman tells him he's going to kill him. But that's exactly what Red Hood wants. Victor can't breathe, and Batman arrives just in time to save him. That's enough. Bruce dedicated his life to dragging Gotham out of the darkness and bringing it into the light. Maybe it was a coincidence, or maybe it was just symbolic, but with the Joker dead, Batman was able to get the bad guys off the streets and keep them off. The muck and the mire could finally be saved. The memories fade, and Bruce get to the podium. His family has been here from the beginning. Generations of Waynes have helped rebuild this city just as their family did. Gotham meant everything to them, just like it does to Bruce, just like it does to everyone here. That's why he wants to give this modern building to Gotham. Today marks the centennial of his father's birth. Not only that, but this building stands on the spot where his parents died decades ago. He likes to think of it as something that marks his past. But even more importantly, it serves as a signal for tomorrow. It will house the civic offices of Neo-Gotham and those who work to make life better for all of them. Elena tells her father she hadn't realized this place was so laden with meaning. Dick tells her this is where Batman was born. It took a long time to get here, even though the Joker was gone. Others tried to take the Joker's place. A few years later, a group of misguided souls who felt they weren't part of the city's emerging future emerged. So alienated that they convinced themselves the Joker was Shui, someone to idolize. It shocked and offended Bruce on every level. How could they be idolizing a murderer? By then, most of his old enemies were already locked up. That was good because soon, Bruce would have a heart attack while rescuing an heiress. After that, Bruce retired, and so did Batman. That void paved the way for new villains. Gotham returned, until one night, years later, when a young man named Terry McGinnis saved Bruce's life and rose above and beyond the call to become the new Batman. Once again, Gotham and Batman's fates were linked. The city that the sky ignored, always trailing far behind Metropolis, turned the corner to become the most advanced and beautiful city on Earth. And all that is thanks to him. Bruce continues his speech as they move towards the future. They must ensure not to forget their past here, above the sky bridges. Their good fortune is obvious, but they must always remember that these shining towers are built upon the streets and sanctified ground of old Gotham, where people struggle with many aspects of their lives. They must not forget them or act as if they don't exist. Their job is to elevate them as well. That's why this new building will house a wing of the Wayne Foundation dedicated to doing exactly that. Dick Grayson is surprised that Barbara isn't here. He says she's working on a murder case. Speaking of Barbara Gordon, we move to the depths of the city. We are at Ace Chemicals. The janitor working at this place has found a dead body, and it's a mess. 3, maybe 4 dead bodies are floating in that chemical vat. It's no accident. It's very obvious that someone came here and dumped them already dead. Barbara realizes they're more Jokerz, judging by the paint on the clothes. And maybe this card can give them some more information. Maybe that's why they left this stuck to the door. A card that says, nobody uses his name. Nobody. Meanwhile, in the train cabin, Engineer Hernandez was about to leave when suddenly, someone mysterious arrives to stop him. He was supposed to have the day off, but because of Bruce Wayne's presentation, he's here. Well, things are about to get worse for him. The mysterious man in the hat sneaks up behind him and slits his throat with a knife. How about you take the day off? You can also take tomorrow and the day after that, and then the day after that, and the day after that. The mysterious man takes the train and drives it away. We return to the ceremony with Bruce. He and the mayor have to make this official. This is the legal deed for the Wayne Family Center of Tomorrow, now owned by Neo-Gotham, clean and clear. Mayor Fox begins reading on behalf of all the citizens. You'll like to? Before moving forward, the mayor stops. What the hell is this? The joke's on you, Bruce. That's not all. A train can be heard. It's approaching very fast. They need to get out of here. Dick Grayson leaves with his daughter. She must stay close to him. Matt and Terry start suiting up. How are they going to stop all this? Terry has no idea, but they have to try. Batman and Robin take to the skies. Matt asks if he has any ideas. Terry says the first thing is to check on the engineer. But when they reach the train, it's empty. The train is being driven by some kind of remote pilot. Batman positions himself in front of the train. Matt asks what he's doing. Terry says it's their only option. The remote pilot starts accelerating even more. But something is odd here, and the train starts derailing. Matt says they're lucky. It's veering off. Batman says no luck at all, because the train is heading somewhere else. It's the worst-case scenario. It will take everything here. In the distance, Bruce and Dick were watching all this. It can't be. The explosions are reaching an elevator they were in. The fire is about to catch them and start consuming everything in its path. But before that happens, Batman and Robin arrive just in time to rescue them. As they escape, they witness a huge explosion. Meanwhile, at the police station, Barbara is notified. The Wayne building has just exploded. They need to get all rescue services there as fast as possible. Barbara is going to call the White House. They need federal help in all this. Barbara arrives at her office, realizing that things are definitely getting worse. Someone is sitting in her chair. The person sitting there tells her it's been a long time and that she has aged well. He always felt close to her. That special bond they shared is his strength. He hated those Jokerz as much as he did. Ruining a good name in the way they did is criminal. That's why they deserve to die. Barbara can't believe he's here. It's impossible. The Joker points a gun at her. Why are you so shocked? Are you telling me Bruce never told you that I'm alive? God. We start decades from now. In the previous chapter, we left off with Barbara going to her office, where a mysterious man was sitting. That mysterious man turned out to be the Joker, who started shooting at her with a gun. But the shot missed. The Joker couldn't believe Mabel had missed. Could it be that Barbara had gotten faster with age? Faced with this, Barbara has to find a way to confront the Joker. The latter asks her if she's missed him. He's her oldest and dearest friend. What Barbara doesn't understand is why he's still alive. Bruce Wayne was supposed to have finished him off. Now that she realizes it, he was the one who brought down the Wayne building with that train. The Joker asks if she would accuse him of something so violent and horrific. Barbara tells him she would, with good reason. Well, the Joker has nothing more to say except that she's wrong. He is gloriously guilty as charged. Barbara had thrown a bookshelf at the Joker, knocking his gun away. He was about to grab it, but Barbara managed to grab something sharp to hurt his hand. He shouldn't have come back. Now she's going to give him a hard kick, so hard that it will throw him out of this building. It seemed like the Joker was about to fall from the top, but it was all just a trick. Can you believe how lucky this man is that a taxi was occasionally waiting outside the window? It's almost as if he had planned it all in advance. Barbara tells him he's smart, but not smart enough. Now she's going to shoot him. The Joker escapes and is out of her range. From here, you can see Bruce Wayne's building. It's all so tragic. Who could be the one who did this damage? Who brought down the tower? The Joker escapes. Barbara can't believe all of this. He's alive. The Joker is really alive. She just confirmed it. Let's go back 2 minutes. In the previous chapter, Bruce Wayne and company were trying to escape through an elevator. Some thought they were going to die. Bruce Wayne tells Dick Grayson that he doesn't have to do it. Dick has to save himself along with his daughter. Dick asks if he wants him to leave him here with the others. If that's what he wants, he's not going to do it because everyone needs to be saved. Hope has arrived. Bruce believes something good is about to happen. Everyone will be saved, and they need to prepare for it. Batman, along with the Robin of the future, has arrived to take the elevator and get them out of this explosion. Robin says the elevator is much heavier than it looks. Batman just asks him not to let go. Mayor Fox is surprised by all of this. Here's Batman, who has found himself a new Robin. Robin says he's trying, but his propulsion control isn't very good. Batman tells him he can do it, he has to try even harder. It's difficult for Robin because he feels his arm is dislocating. Batman tells him there's just a little more to go. After advancing with the elevator, they finally make it. They've finally gotten Bruce Wayne and company to safety. Bruce and the others are getting out of the elevator. More debris could fall, so they need to get away from here as much as they can. Batman and Robin arrive with them and ask if they're okay. Bruce says more or less. Dick doesn't understand. That runaway train brought down the entire Bruce Wayne building. What could have happened to the conductor? How did he get to this place? Bruce knows this was no accident. His building was clearly the target. Dick asks if he has any idea who it could have been. Batman tells him to worry about that later. Right now, they need to help all the injured. That's more important. Once Batman and Robin leave, Dick confronts Bruce Wayne. He can't believe he gave that suit to a kid. Does he want to take the risk and end up like Jason Todd? Or maybe get a bullet in the brain? Bruce tells him that he was Nightwing when that happened. Matt's suit offers much more protection. The news has arrived. This is Jack Ryder for News 52. He has to ask Mr. Wayne what he has to say about the terrorist attack that destroyed this building. Bruce has no comment, but there's someone who does want to talk. This is Mayor Richard Grayson of Bloodhaven. The floor is yours. This was the work of a remarkably deranged criminal mind, someone Gotham should fear. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, a word of terrible warning from a prominent former resident. And to keep the news moving, we can now confirm the existence of a new Robin, beyond the shadow of a doubt that had been cast. Batman now has a partner, and we're seeing him on screen. There's someone who does like the fact that Batman has a new partner, and that someone is the Joker. A new and improved version of Robin. New like a sparkling bleach agent. This is something wonderful and perfect. At last, a target worth working towards for the Joker, something to aim at, bright, red and green target. We are with Batman and Robin. Terry tells his brother that at street level, he needs to keep his eyes open. They're going to be survivors. Robin says that everything down here is very old, and that's because this is old Gotham. He lived here a long time ago, and being here is difficult. The people living in this place are somewhat upset. Batman is acting like he cares about this place, visiting the rest of the city only because a building fell from the sky. Robin tells him that's not true. Batman is always trying to help. Batman says they have a point. He should spend more time in these places. He needs to be ready to help wherever he's needed. Later on, Robin asks why they landed. The Batman of the future says this almost looks like a naturally formed tunnel, as if it might protect someone. He'll activate infrared to find out if there's anyone in here. Robin didn't know he had that vision, so he activates his too. Batman sees something. He has to follow it. As they enter the cave, Matt asks if he really thinks there's anyone alive down here. They both move forward. Batman thinks he saw some movement, and as the sensors indicated, there are people living here who thank them. They thought they were going to die, trapped down here. Batman and Robin will take care of them. As they try to get them out, the building starts to collapse. Batman won't let that happen. He's going to prevent these people from dying right here. As he stops the debris, he asks Robin to get them to a safe place as quickly as possible. The people ask how it's possible that Batman is holding up this building. Well, that's because the suit enhances his strength. But the question is, how long can he do that? Robin hopes it's long enough. Matt has managed to get them out of the place. They're safe now. He only got 2 people out, and there are still more. Matt has to go back, but one of the kids he saved tells him it's crazy to go back in. Robin says it's not as crazy as leaving those people in there. As he enters the cave, he realizes the debris is still falling. Batman, in light of this, asks him to hurry before it's too late. Matt gets another 2 people out. He wanted to go back in immediately, but just as he exits, it seemed like all was lost for the people inside, but suddenly Batman comes flying out with 2 individuals. Everything is going to be okay. His brother doesn't have to worry. This is how Robin realizes that Batman couldn't have saved them all by himself, and that's why he needs a Robin. Batman tells him that this time he didn't need him. The police have arrived. Commissioner Gordon is here. Barbara tells Batman that he needs to bring Bruce Wayne to this place. They need to talk about something extremely important. Batman doesn't want to do it. There could be more victims here, but Barbara doesn't care. This is more important. Once everyone is gathered, Barbara says she was in her office. He's still alive. She saw him. Bruce Wayne doesn't understand. Who is she talking about? Who is that still alive? Barbara tells him it's the Joker. and it wasn't one of his foolish imitators. She's 100% sure it was the real Joker. And with everything that's happened, it's possible he's the one who's been killing the Jokerz. The notes she found at the crime scenes didn't make sense until now. Batman doesn't believe it. The Joker can't be alive. But for him, too, things start to make some sense. So that was the voice he heard all those months ago. It was him. He's responsible for this. He brought down his building and killed more than he can count. It happened when he finished. He kidnapped him. He had a janitor working for him who seemed somewhat funny. He was always in the shadows, rarely saying a word. But when he finally heard him clearly, Bruce realized it was the one voice he would never forget. Just as he will never forget what he did to Jason. That moment when he used his magic crowbar and finished off one of his Robins. Meanwhile, we are with the Joker, who tells someone that there's the tribute to his greatest moment, the most special moment of his life. Something glorious, wonderful, invigorating. And now, finally, it's time for a sequel. 42 hours after the Joker destroyed the Wayne Family Tomorrow Center, the injured have been hospitalized. Batman has searched for the Joker everywhere, but hasn't found him. After almost 2 days without stopping, it's time to be Terry McGinnis instead of being Batman. After the Batman of the future searched for the Joker and didn't find him, he takes off his suit. Later, we see him with Melanie, to whom he apologizes for being late. She supposes she should get used to those words, sorry for being late, considering his other job. For Terry, this is an interesting description. Melanie assumes they shouldn't be talking about, you know what, in public. Melanie still can't believe he hid it from her all this time. Terry is sorry, but she was with the Royal Flush Gang when they met. She was a criminal, and he had to be careful. Melanie has worked hard to get on the right path. She's happy that Terry can trust her now. Meanwhile, elsewhere, CC is walking and not feeling very well. He hates doing this. He hates all of this. He hates it, but he has to do it. He has no other choice. As he moves forward, he arrives at a joke shop. Bernie welcomes him. It's been a while since he was last here. CC is sorry about all of this. He's really sorry, but he has to do this for Ruby, and that's so the Joker won't kill her. CC opens his coat, and here he has a screen with the Joker on it, and he's also carrying some explosives. The Joker greets Bernie, who has been supplying the Jokerz, the Pretenders. It's a copyright infringement, trademarked, and all standards of good taste on the part of the Joker. Bernie, seeing him, gets very nervous and says it's an honor to meet Mr. J and have him here. The Joker says it makes them look nothing like him. That's an insult, one that cuts him very deep, and that's why CC is going to explode here. CC tells Bernie he's sorry, but he has Ruby, so he's going to blow up right now. Elsewhere, the Joker is talking to someone now. He supposes he could call that sad, very, very sad. But the Joker's stealing his good name and using it for their own personal gain is something he finds very lousy. They had no style or any of the wit or sense of vitality he brought to the job. They were imposters, they were frauds. But do you know what else is fraudulent? Neo-Gotham. This city should be like it was before, rough and dirty. Could it be that his loyal and intrepid throwbacks wouldn't agree? Well, the Joker already said it, and everything he says is going to be done here. The Joker turns to Duty and tells him he's a wise and intelligent man, the kind of guy who would leave the Jokerz and beg to be one of his throwbacks. Duty says it's true. He realizes that the current world is flawed and needs to go back to what it was before. The Joker offers Duty a cigar, assuring him it won't explode or anything like that. In theory, Duty is his quietest guy, and now he welcomes him to the club. However, there's a problem with one of those present. The Joker points to John and says he's the problem. He has a Duty, a Rooney, and a Ruby, but John doesn't fit in with any of that. John, trying to fit in, asks if Johnny would be okay. The Joker finds it acceptable, but then turns to Ruby and asks what's wrong with her, noticing that she seems upset. Ruby explains that it's because CC is dead, and he was her love. The Joker tells her to forget about it. Now she's one of the throwbacks, and is here to help bring Neo-Gotham back to the whole it should be. Ruby asks if it has to be like when it was just Gotham City. The Joker tells her yes, exactly. This city used to be a big, dark, horrific place, full of trash, blood, and the guts of crime. It was beautiful, deadly, and glorious. Now, however, it's cute, radiant, and shiny, with gleaming towers and flying cars. What's so good about that? Besides, they don't have to start with a bat who flies with a cape, has wings, red wings, and a flying robin. Have you ever heard anything so ridiculous? The Joker reflects that everything he's saying sounds crazy, but it certainly shows what technology can do for a man. He saw it when he was with that terminal, full of crazy technology and wonderful toys. He used them to drug and lock up Bruce Wayne while robbing him blind. So if Batman is going to accept using technology as much as the Joker hates it, then he's going to use it too. And John will be the key to making it all work. John, trying to be compliant, says that of course, whatever's necessary, he's here for the boss. The Joker grabs him by the shoulders and tells him no, he won't be anymore. Meanwhile, in the future Batcave, Bruce Wayne comments that there's still no sign of the Joker. They have police security cameras all over the city, but they haven't seen him either. Suddenly, something new starts happening. It looks like an explosion. A trinket shop in the Grant district has blown up. Barbara is sure it must be him. Matt thinks so too, so he asks Commissioner Gordon to get ready to go after him. Bruce tells him not to, not without Terry. Matt replies that's exactly what he was thinking. If they need Batman, Robin will find him. Matt suits up and leaves the Batcave. Dick Grayson asks him to wait, warning him that he can't do this alone. Matt replies that he won't, and he's already mentioned what's going to happen. Once he finds Terry, they'll take on the Joker together. Dick Grayson insists that this maniac is too much for him to handle. He's not ready to face him. Again, Matt tells him not to worry. He had great training. Dick doesn't understand how Bruce can support all this. If that monster gets his hands on Matt, the same thing that happened to Jason Todd could happen. Bruce tells him that Matt is capable. He knows how to take care of himself and will be fine. Dick retorts that it'll be fine until a crowbar to the face or maybe a bullet to the head happens. The sad truth, Dick says, is that things don't end well for any of the Robins. We're back with Terry, who's still with Melanie. She tells him it was nice spending time together, but she has a question. Where does this leave them? Clearly, she's referring to their relationship. Are they friends, something more, or just something casual? A real and honest couple. Terry responds that he supposes they're not. Melanie thanks him and leaves, saying that every time she tries to have a relationship, guys like Terry pull the rug out from under her. Terry didn't mean it like that, he's sorry. It's just that his life is complicated. Melanie tells him that life is complicated for everyone. You just have to learn to deal with it. They were about to kiss when suddenly a red alert sounds. Robin has arrived. Matt tells Terry that the Joker blew up another building, and they have to go. Terry asks Melanie what she thinks about it. Just as he had already mentioned, this will be complicated. Terry supposes he'll have to learn how to deal with it. Terry leaves, but will they continue with this afterward? Melanie tells him they'd better. Shortly after, Batman asks Robin what the target was. Matt tells him it was a trinket shop. They sold joke items and magic tricks. That seems like a small target. How long ago did it happen? Matt says it was just a few minutes ago. In fact, the place is still burning. Batman knows the Joker is a psychotic criminal mastermind. Why mess with such a small shop? Robin says that for someone as crazy as the Joker, there doesn't necessarily have to be a reason. Suddenly, shots are fired. Batman warns Robin to be careful. Matt doesn't understand. Why are they shooting? Batman says they'll find out why once they know who it is. But for now, he needs to move. He can't be an easy target. It seems like they'll find out who's responsible for the shots soon. The new Joker henchmen are here, and they're the ones shooting at Batman and Robin. Batman asks if there's any difference with these guys. Of course, there is, at least for the boss, though it might just be the name. Robin confronts them and is about to attack. As far as he's concerned, they're all crazy. Duty stands in front of him and says he'll wish he never said that. Duty fires, but Robin easily dodges the shot, causing Duty to hit his own teammate instead. Batman arrives and demands to know where the Joker is. He doesn't care who they are. It's their boss he wants, and he'll ask again, where is the Joker? After Batman delivers a hard kick to Duty, Robin goes after Ruby, telling her not to run away. She's just wasting her time. There's no way she can escape from him. Ruby enters a room, and Robin follows, but he's hit hard. From a distance, Batman sees what's happening and rushes to help his partner. He reaches him but can't understand how that girl did this to him. Robin says it wasn't her. It was someone different, something monstrous. Someone from inside the room says they can't say they love what Batman has done to the place, making it all fancy and nice, just like he did to himself. Now he has wings and can fly. As far as the Joker is concerned, that's cheating. Well, if Batman is going to cheat, then so will the Joker. The Joker emerges from the room, and Batman is truly shocked by what he's seeing. None of this should be possible. The Joker tells him to think of him as the Joker beyond. We begin decades from now. Bruce Wayne was once Batman. My father, Dick Grayson, as a child, was the first Robin, two proud men united by their past. And at this moment, the fear of the present and the thought that a child could die linger. Dick Grayson has been upset with Bruce Wayne since he returned to Gotham City. He doesn't like seeing that the Batman of the future has a new Robin. Matt McGinnis is a child, and yet Bruce let him face the Joker. If something happens to him, it will all be Bruce Wayne's responsibility. Robins usually have a tragic fate. As a child, Jason Todd had a visit from Dr. Crowbar, and we all know how that ended. Grayson took a bullet to the head. Batman thinks this time will be different because technology has improved a lot. He even tells Dick that everything will be fine, it has to be. But Dick isn't very confident in those words he just heard. They sound more like a hope than a fact. Now we turn to Joker Beyond, who is facing the new Batman. The Joker asks Batman and Robin of the future to meet Johnny, or as he likes to call him, Joker Beyond. The Joker is using the body of one of his men, who is asking for help, but the clown says that Batman has a lot of help, a little bird to be exact. Terry tells him not to even think about it. The Joker tells him to think about whatever he likes, like his favorite season of the year, bird hunting season. The Batman of the future communicates with Bruce Wayne and asks if he's seeing all this. At the end of the previous chapter, the Joker managed to land a hard blow on Robin, who is now unconscious. Batman does everything he can to protect him. Dick's daughter knows there can't be many things that Bruce and her father haven't seen. But this cyborg Joker is a different case, and they're very worried about him. Elena asks her father if he's sure Terry knows how to handle this situation, this monstrosity. Dick isn't sure. This is a perfect example of why he didn't want his daughter involved in this madness. Old Bruce Wayne is watching the situation on the screen, trying to assess their capabilities right now. Johnny apologizes for what's about to happen. The Joker understands the situation. If Batman has been upgrading over the years, it's only fair that the Joker does too. And how will he upgrade? With a grenade launcher. He's always wanted one of those. The Joker attacks, and we see a small explosion. Terry tries to strike, but the Joker seems immune to these low-grade explosives. Does he have another idea? Bruce tells him yes, he's working on it. The Joker asks the Batman of the future, "Who are you talking to? Who's Bruce?" From the Batcave, Bruce Wayne analyzes the situation. This Joker is built with promethium metal. If Terry wants to defeat him, he'll need to use the heaviest artillery he's got. Matt has woken up, and his brother is glad to see he's still conscious. Robin says there's no way he would miss all of this. Batman and Robin attack with some batarangs, but to the Joker, it's nothing. He even feels offended. Instead of using high-grade explosives, they're using simple batarangs. The Joker uses his heat vision to destroy them effortlessly. That should be an idea for a joke. It's time for Johnny to show what he can do, and for that, he'll need to start flying. Joker Million begins to fly, and Terry can't believe all this. It's not as if Batman and Robin are the only ones with the ability to fly. The Joker tries to attack Robin, who manages to move slightly, but still gets hit in one of his wings. If they can be new and improved, why couldn't the Joker do the same? His marketing department says he needs to keep up. Since Robin is left without one of his wings, he begins to fall. Elena knows her father doesn't fear much, but there is one thing that always haunts him: kids in battle. He has seen the downside and knows it's impossible for anyone to get out unscathed. Robin signals that he's lost control, losing altitude. In the Batcave, Dick rubs it in Bruce's face, telling him he said Matt wasn't ready for this situation. Bruce asks him to calm down. There's no need to get into that right now. The important thing is to notify Terry so he can go help. The Batman of the future is already on it. But before he can reach his brother, he's hit from behind. The impact Terry receives is so strong that he crashes into a building. Matt is in free fall, but as he's falling, an idea occurs to him. He might have minimal control over the situation, but as long as he has power, maybe he can remove his wings and spin his body. This is great. He's managed to stop the free fall, but still takes a hard hit. Once he's on the ground, the real Joker appears. It seems that looking through the trash has its rewards. One man's trash is certainly another man's treasure. Now he's going to ask this little birdie, how often in life, how often in history, do you get a chance to repeat the past? The Joker grabs Robin by the cape and takes him away, laughing. In the Batcave, Bruce and Dick know this is bad. Elena asks what's going on. Bruce tells her that Matt isn't responding. The communication and telemetry systems are offline. Dick knows this means something bad. Bruce says not necessarily. He assumes the attack Matt received a moment ago might have burned out his communication system. Dick is angry and worried. What if it's worse? If the Joker is Robin, they know what that means. Bruce tells him that's not the case. Dick tells him he can't be so sure. He's not there. Just like he wasn't there for Jason when the Joker attacked him. Dick gets up and leaves. Elena asks him what he's doing. Dick tells her what he should have done in the first place. Put an end to this crazy pattern of sending kids into war once and for all. After Dick leaves, Bruce Wayne communicates with Terry and tells him to get up. His brother needs him. Matt has disappeared, and the Joker probably has him. The last time Bruce Wayne tracked him, he was falling in the spraying sector. Terry rushes off at full speed. He'll be there in a second, but before he can arrive, he's interrupted. The real Joker may be busy with his Robin, but there's someone still chasing him. It's Joker Beyond, who takes advantage of this to start attacking a hospital. He's going to destroy this hospital full of sick people. Well, he's not really going to attack them, since he's here to help. What they need is some laughing gas to make them feel better, enough to fill their lungs. He asks, what could be better than dying laughing? The Joker was filling the place with gas when the Batman of the future arrives and stops him. He already told this sicko he wouldn't allow it. A battle begins. The Joker asks if Batman really thinks he's sick. Do I look sick? Maybe my friend Johnny here, poor guy, he's a walking corpse. If Batman doesn't want him to use the gas on the patients, he'll have to try it on Batman Beyond instead. The Joker attacks Batman with a laughing gas. Batman Beyond tells him it's useless against someone who has their own oxygen. The Joker grabs Batman and tells him that the oxygen won't help much when Johnny tears him in two. The pain Terry feels is overwhelming. Joker Beyond is about to tear him in half, and unless he has some magical thread to sew himself back together, he's going to stay split in half. 2 bats for the price of 1. Terry tells him no and activates a device in his belt that emits an electric shockwave. Batman manages to free himself. He has to find Robin. The Joker is upset by this situation. He can't believe Batman cheated again. The Joker asks Batman to understand why he had to upgrade. If you want to raise the stakes, then I'll do the same, and he attacks with a barrage of bullets. Terry is knocked to the ground. Now back to his usual programming. Without a doubt, this has been a very fun day for the Joker. The upgraded Joker has beaten the upgraded Batman. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, the old Joker gets to relive the best day of his life. But he has to wait. There's a very strange noise, something familiar. Batman tells him that sound is defeat. Surprisingly, Joker Beyond is attacked from behind and completely destroyed. The Batwing has arrived, and the Batman of the future knows this is all thanks to Dick Grayson, who thought Batman could use a hand. Terry is about to retreat, but one of the Joker cyborg's parts starts speaking. Does Batman think he's won? If so, he's very wrong. Batman asks how his cyborg can still fight when it's completely destroyed. The Joker wasn't referring to that, because somewhere else, he's with his little friend. In fact, they should ask him what he thinks of Batman's victory. Unfortunately, little Robin is a bit too busy to answer, and now that they're among friends, the Joker has to introduce a few of them. Some who live down here in the streets. All these people have been victimized and taken advantage of, because people like Batman and Robin live in the heights of Gotham, while they rot down here in old Gotham. They will appreciate the clown coming to this place for old time's sake. Since they can't move to the luxurious palaces in the sky, he'll bring those up there down to their level so everyone can live together in peace, harmony, and the same misery, just like the Joker did with the new Wayne Tower. And to kick things off, He'll throw a party, one where the Joker will celebrate the most famous and greatest day in Gotham's history. This with a commemorative crowbar stained with blood and DNA. But the Joker is a fair player. He'll give little Robin a chance. He can keep waiting if he tells him who Batman was communicating with. He just wants to know everything about that man called Bruce. For the Joker, this is incredible. How he missed the old days, such good times. In fact, they were the best. Exploding cigars, acid-filled lapel flowers. Everything was so wonderful. His smiling fish, and he was always in demand for Joker gas. Life was great, and he can't forget his greatest success, like the Commissioner Gordon's daughter. That moment when he shot her and left her in a wheelchair. But he also has another glorious moment, a Robin. It was all such a mess. Dry cleaning never got his suit clean again. Now the time has come for his return, to prove he wasn't just a one-hit wonder. He's the best there ever was, and all he has to do is hit this little Robin in the head. And how's he gonna do it? With his crowbar, of course. The Joker was about to strike with the crowbar when Robin asks him to stop. He needs to think again. Batman will arrive any moment and finish him. The Joker says old bats didn't come the first time. The new Batman won't come now either. He might find him, but Robin's suit has its communication circuits completely destroyed. This kid is done for. And to preserve these momentous events for posterity, his death will be broadcast worldwide. But before starting this new project, he has a question. This Bruce Wayne he's communicating with, who is he? Robin says nothing, but that's no problem for the Joker, because he's going to make him talk. Or better yet, make him scream. Meanwhile, Terry is speaking with Bruce Wayne, asking him what he means by not finding Matt anywhere. How can that be possible? Bruce says they lost the signal from his suit, no matter how hard they try. They can't locate him. Terry wonders if his brother is dead. Bruce isn't saying that. Matt must be fine, he must be alive. Elena asks Mr. Wayne how he can be so sure of that if the Joker has captured him. Dick appears on the screen and agrees with his daughter. That maniac is capable of anything. Bruce asks Dick to maintain the search flight pattern over the city. He hopes Matt's tracker has only been weakened. If they keep flying this way, they might be lucky enough to detect him. These words bother Batman of the future. His brother's life depends on luck? That's definitely not how things should work. In the Batcave, Elena tells Bruce there must be something more they can do. Bruce says he hates not being able to go out and help. Age can be a curse. Elena reminds him that he has a weak heart, and if there's anything they can do from here, they'd better implement it. Suddenly, everything changes because the Joker appears on the screens. He's now greeting Gotham City, interrupting their regular, boring, and mundane programming to bring this special presentation. And why is he doing it? For a matter of life and death, of course. And he'll emphasize the word death. All because a young man was intolerably rude. Seeing this on screen, the family believes the Joker has already killed the boy. The clown continues, talking about the final fate of a boy who was discourteous to his elders when he refused to answer their questions. Batman thinks his brother is dead, but then Robin appears on the screen. The Joker is very patient. The boy has one more chance to tell him what he wants to know. Last chance. Who was he talking to on that radio? Matt tells him he was talking to his mother, and she told him she should have thrown herself off a bridge instead of having him. Seeing this, Bruce Wayne realizes the Joker wants him. Back with the Joker, if Robin wants to play this way and say nothing, then so be it. It was nice knowing him. The Joker is about to hit him with the crowbar, but suddenly stops. He can feel that old Bat is out there watching, hiding. Well, if he's not going to come out, then he'll make this more exciting. His men are going to put the boy in the coffin and bring some liquid to set it on fire. Meanwhile, Dick Grayson seems to have found the Joker's location. Bruce is desperate and sends a message to Matt. If there's any way he can hear him, he has to tell the Joker whatever he wants. Meanwhile, Batman of the future and Dick Grayson rush at full speed to the Joker's lair. Now we turn to the Legion of Clowns, who have waited long enough and must do what the boss ordered. After all, they don't want to end up like their former companion. Some hesitate, but they know this is for the best. They don't want to become mechanical monsters. Everything was ready. They'd already poured the liquid to ignite it. All that was left was to light the match. They were about to burn the boy when suddenly, Batman of the future arrives in time to stop them. No one is burning his brother. The Jokerz were ready for a battle. After all, they were only fighting one person. Well, it wasn't just one. Dick is here too. There are two of them. The mayor of Bloodhaven enters to kick the Jokerz. Everyone was fighting, except Ruby. She thinks it's better to do what Mr. J says. Dick continues fighting. He's always amazed that no matter how badly Joker treats his crew, they still swear loyalty to him. Ruby takes advantage of the distraction. She now has the lighter in her hands. The coffin must burn, and that's exactly what's going to happen. The fire starts. Batman can't believe it and rushes to the coffin of his brother. The kid has to hold on. Out of nowhere, everyone is shocked. Everything they were doing was nothing more than a simulation, where the Joker made them all believe Matt was in the coffin and that he was going to burn him. It was all just a distraction by the Joker to take advantage of their focus being elsewhere. Matt was never in the coffin. The broadcast they saw on TV was just a pre-recorded video. The Joker is with his old friend Bruce Wayne. Matt is with the Joker, and the latter can't believe Bruce didn't think of a pre-recorded video. Age is really catching up with him. His little Robin sang like a canary, and that's good because people like them, who've been friends for years, should know each other by their first name. Elena wants to go after the Joker. He made a mistake coming to this place, but her anger didn't matter as the Joker shoots her in the shoulder. She definitely should have stayed seated. Long ago, he shot the commissioner's daughter. Now he's shooting the mayor of Bloodhaven's daughter. They're all the same to him. The next shot will be to the head, so she'd better stay still. Although he might save that bullet for the little boy, Bruce asks what he wants. The Joker says he can't let Father Time do the job for him. He's here to finish off his old friend. Bruce tells him to go ahead if that's what he wants. They're going to have a fight, but he won't shoot. This will be a fight with crowbars. Their time together was what made life worth living. When that pretender in the suit showed up, the Joker was afraid Bruce had died. But here he is, an unconscious old man, drooling, shuffling around like a forgotten relic. Time's up, the clock strikes midnight. Bruce Wayne has lost his crowbar, and Joker hits him with the crowbar on his back, delivering a hard blow to his face, making him bleed. Meanwhile, Elena is untying Robin and tells him to escape while he can. The Joker continues beating Bruce with the crowbar. He almost hates doing this, but he won't let nature spoil his chance to take Bruce out on the last train. Bruce Wayne recovers, somehow enduring the shoulder blow. Now it's his turn to attack. He grabs the crowbar and drives it into one of the Joker's arms. When he has the chance, he takes the Joker's gun away. This is all the Joker will get. The clown urges him to continue. Go ahead. He knows Bruce wants to do it for Barbara, for Robin, and for many more. He knows Bruce has to do it. He wants him dead. Before Bruce can even think about shooting, something happens to the Joker. His heart seems to be failing, and he mutters the words, "No, not now." Well, it seems like it is now because the Joker can't go on any longer and collapses to the ground. It could be his age, or maybe it's a trick. We'll see later. Robin gets up and apologizes to Bruce, saying that if he hadn't told the Joker what he knew, he wouldn't have found this place. Bruce tells him there's nothing to apologize for. He's alive, and that's what matters. Even better, this twisted, demented soul just told his last joke. We begin decades in the future in the Himalayas. Someone is climbing up to a tower, and everyone inside is shouting his name, Zero. A figure appears before the crowd and mentions that the task is complete. At the same time, he puts on the hood we had previously seen Damian Wayne wear. Zero is here. At last, their destiny is theirs to define. After years of oppressive rule, they're who they once were. Now they have been restored, and all of this is thanks to Master Zero. Daru approaches him and says his cloak is stained with blood, urging him to wear his own. Zero thanks him. The infidel who sought to rule them is gone. The demon's bastard son is no more. Now, they will embrace the future and move forward. And even more importantly, for the first time in years, the wishes of their true master, the great Ra's al Ghul, will be honored. Meanwhile, we catch up with Terry, the Batman of the future. He was dealing with the Slamjackers, whom he tells they should have known better. They weren't dealing with a substitute. They were dancing with the real one. The best, the only, the true and authentic Batman has returned. Terry asks if they realize what that means. The Slamjackers aren't about to back down. They outnumber him after all. Batman gets ready for battle. His comeback is certified. Without a doubt, 100%. The Slamjackers have seen enough. The best option is to retreat, but before they can, the Batman of the future makes them crash into each other. It seems air traffic control is asleep on the job. But they have to be honest. There's nothing better than being able to fly, and nothing worse than when you can't. That's the risk you take when you steal data from an aerial elimination team. But they should be grateful that old Batsy showed up to save them from certain death. Once he's dealt with the enemies, Terry is about to leave. But not before telling them to remember that new fan club members get personalized autographs if they sign up before midnight. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Dick Grayson is with his daughter, Elena, telling her he never wants to see her wearing that suit again. Elena has heard it all before. Dick knows he said it before, but wearing a suit and playing hero will never make her happy or allow her to enjoy a normal life. Elena may seem like she knows all this, but Dick tells her no, she doesn't. He knows it. It's a life of tragedy he begs her to avoid. Elena doesn't intend to listen. What about what she wants? After all, this is her life. She's heard enough and decides to leave. Barbara tells Dick it's time to let her go. He has to let his daughter be the woman she wants to be. Dick can't. He promised her mother he wouldn't. Barbara tells him that unfortunately, she's no longer here. He has to support Elena in her choices. Barbara goes to Elena and tells her she's always considered her the daughter she never had. Her father was raised by a man consumed by tragedy. Bruce chained him to a life without peace or rest, and all Dick wants is what's best for her. It's true she wants to be Batwoman, and Barbara knows that's who she really is. So, Barbara promises to help her make it a reality. Elsewhere, Terry tells Bruce Wayne he doesn't get it. Why are they moving cities? Bruce tells him that the Batcave was destroyed by Blightmat, so they can no longer stay there. Terry asks what will happen with his extracurricular activities. Bruce tells him that Batman's activities will be justified. Now, he has to activate the nullifying screens. These screens project false wall images around the Wayne building so no one can see them coming or going. What Terry sees is incredible. This must be some urban Batcave. Though his brother Matt tells him this isn't a Batcave anymore, it's more of a Batsuit. Matt knows something feels off about all this. The tower is surrounded by other towers. Bruce is sure no one will see Batman coming or going. Mr. Wayne tells him the buildings around them belong to him. They're equipped with holographic projectors that conceal what happens here. No one will ever see anything but what he wants them to see, just an ordinary office tower. Moreover, those windows are actually translucent protective energy fields that will allow entry. It's true he made an enormous investment in this Batsuit, but all of this is for the greater good. Matt tells him they're all in this together. Once they settle in, it's time to get to work. Their sensors in Gotham's government building have detected the Slamjackers again. These data thieves are once more trying to gather every bit of information possible. If they can get that information, they'll have the means to control the universe. Terry puts on his suit. It's time to go. But before leaving, he asks Bruce if he can go out the window without getting hurt by broken glass. Bruce tells him to give it a try. For Terry, this is incredible. From out here, it looks like concrete thanks to Bruce's projectors. Later on, Terry continues to move forward. Bruce increases the thermal sensors in his suit and reduces the tactile ones. With all this rain, it's hard to see, so Bruce calibrates the optics for environmental conditions. It works well, and Terry can see the Slamjackers, who can't believe Batman is back again. For Terry, it's a shame. He thought they loved him. Terry starts his attack and throws some batarangs. Bruce tells him they won't kill them by mistake. Those are only appropriate for threat levels 8 and above. After the batarangs hit their mark, Terry tells them that after all that's happened, he's going into full maximum action to ensure he's never victimized again. Bruce tells him he's not authorized to use that level of force on non-powered individuals. He needs to tone it down. Terry says he got all the authorization he needed when his life and identity were taken by Falseface. It's time for all this scum to know who Batman is. Terry continues his attack when Bruce tells him to move. The sensors have detected someone behind him. Batman doesn't manage to move in time, and someone with a claw grabs him. The one responsible is Goliath, who flies off with him. Terry knows this is Damian's dragon friend. But the question is, why is he here? What does Damian's beast want? Although, Bruce has a more important question. Where is Damian? Terry tries to break free from Goliath and asks him to attack, so he can prepare. Bruce tells him not to do it, and that Terry needs to calm down. He doesn't believe this is an attack. Seeing the expression on Goliath's face, Terry realizes that he clearly doesn't want to harm him. What Goliath wants is for him to follow him to an old warehouse. As they approach, Terry knows there must be something inside, or rather, someone. The surprise for Terry is huge when he sees that Goliath is holding Damian Wayne in his hands, severely wounded and barely alive, in the Himalayas. Mr. Zero tells everyone that the imposter is gone. He has been overthrown. However, for them to succeed, he must die. They know where he is, and their best assassins are already on their way. In an hour, Damian Wayne, the traitor grandson of Ra's al Ghul, will die. He will cease to exist. Meanwhile, Terry contacts Bruce. He needs to alert the hospital and let them know they're on their way. Damian needs help, and he needs it right now. Bruce tells him to forget the hospital and bring him to this location. Batman doesn't want it because Damian is severely wounded. He needs a doctor. Bruce tells him that the recovery chamber will do the job. It will diagnose and treat him faster than any living human could. It seems like this is the best option. After all, there's no way Bruce would risk his own son's life, so they head there. They are 50 seconds away when they are suddenly attacked by the League of Assassins. Batman wasn't alone, and Goliath tries to protect his master. Batman tells him to calm down because they need to plan this out. While Batman takes care of all of them, he asks Goliath to take Damian to Wayne Tower. He'll cover them. The problem is the dragon doesn't know the way, so Batman has to guide him. Of course, he will, but first he has to take down the League. Though it seems he's underestimating them because they're the best assassins in the world. Even his progress is halted as Batman is knocked down. Now he's asking the question, what exactly is he dealing with? Bruce tells him they are the League of Assassins, Ra's al Ghul's enforcers in his time. Well, this is getting too complicated, and Terry asks for help, maybe Batwoman. The fight continues, and it seems like no matter how many he takes down, more keep showing up. Goliath has to deal with as many as he can while protecting Damian Wayne at the same time. The League of Assassins is getting tired as well, so they order that they be killed immediately. Matt knows there are too many of them and tells Bruce they're going to be overwhelmed. Bruce knows, and he hoped he'd never have to use this, but it's the only way he can save them. From the hideout, he activates heavy weaponry. He knew this day would come when they moved here. He planned this as a non-lethal defensive station for everyone in Gotham in an increasingly dangerous world. He didn't expect to have to use it so soon, but that doesn't mean he's not damn glad to have it. The heavy weaponry activates and starts firing at everyone from the hideout. Now, while helping Terry, he tells him to move. He's got his back covered. Batman has never had covering fire before. At the moment, he's liking how all of this sounds. Once they advance and are about to reach the building, Terry sees another problem. He's not sure about entering because people will see them. Bruce activates the 3D holographic images surrounding the building. Extremely meticulous cloaking technology. The projectors create a false exterior with sensor coders, thus completing the illusion. Anyone watching will be completely deceived by what they see. And finally, after advancing, they reach the building. Even the League of Assassins has no idea what just happened. For them, it's as if they disappeared from the city. Goliath immediately takes Damian to his father. The latter asks him to place Damian in the recovery tank. He must hurry. Bruce asks Goliath to calm down. He knows he's worried, but this is the only thing that can save him. Batman says Goliath seems a bit skeptical, but Bruce says it's more like something reasonably certain. Theoretically, the healing fluid is better than anything the hospital can offer him. Terry is still amazed that Bruce had this batsuit. Bruce tells him it had been on the drawing board and under silent construction for years, all while the world developed and technology progressed. He knew that Batman's arsenal would need an upgrade. And with that, how is the recovery going? Well, Damian lost a considerable amount of blood, but his internal damage is minimal. This should be enough to revive him and bring him back to consciousness so he can speak. They need to know why the League of Assassins wants to kill him. Continuing with the recovery, it seems to be going well, and all of it is thanks to a couple of key components from the Lazarus Pit. Suddenly, Damian Wayne wakes up and grabs the Batman of the future by the throat. Terry, of course, doesn't want to fight. But if that's what he wants, then fine. Goliath starts to get agitated. Matt steps in and tells Goliath to stay calm because Terry won't hurt him. He promises. Damian punches Batman of the future, but his father arrives to stop him. Damian asks Bruce to take his hand off him. Bruce won't. He's home and has nothing to fear. He's with his family. Damian can't. What he wants is to sort out his thoughts. Bruce asks him what happened. Why does the League want to kill him? Damian says a sworn lieutenant of his grandfather named Zero, loyal to him and all his ways, has exiled him. He wants to kill him. When Damian tried to establish his way, Zero overthrew him. He wants to implement his grandfather's most extreme ideas, which would leave Earth devoid of life. Terry doesn't understand. Why would anyone want to destroy the Earth? What kind of world are they going to live in afterward? Damian tells him it's because he won't be staying on Earth. He and his men will leave in order to reshape the world for their return. The retreat in the Himalayas is not just a home. It is a great technological achievement. It's a launch platform that will take Zero and his followers into space. From there, they will inspire a new ice age that will sweep across the globe, extinguishing most of the life on Earth. Only then will they achieve their goal of a purified Earth, which they will develop as they see fit. We begin decades from now. It's said that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. This became clear to me 10 years ago, when Ra's al Ghul first told me about his plan. Damian Wayne meets his grandfather in the Himalayas. The latter tells him that all this is his glory, his purity, once abundant. Now, it is forgotten soil, except in a few locations. He must appreciate everything it means and understand what needs to be done to repair the damage. Damian agrees, saying it is beautiful, but there are other places on Earth that are equally so. For Ra's al Ghul, it doesn't matter if they've already been touched by human hands. He becomes sad whenever his grandson can't separate the true beauty of the Earth from man's territory. To Damian, human endeavors can also be wonderful. Paris, Athens, metropolis. Ra's al Ghul becomes annoyed. His father's environment destroyed the sensibilities with which he should have been raised. He normalized humanity's urban infestations, treating them as though they could be saved. Those black holes exemplify man's destructive nature. None are worth saving. For Damian, however, these cities are filled with men, women, and children. For Ra's al Ghul, they push the Earth toward ruin, altering nature in ways beyond catastrophic. Soon, even remote places like this will no longer exist. Rising heat is melting the ice and snow, destroying life on a global scale. All this because men like Bruce Wayne fight small battles while ignoring the real war. He and his kind allowed man to pollute this world. As they advance, they meet Zero. He tells them that only the great Ra's al Ghul has the foresight to see what must be done. The Earth's only hope is to develop technology to usher in a new ice age. Damian disagrees. Eradicating human life to save the Earth cannot be an option. Obviously, for the League of Shadows, it is. And once the Earth is restored to its original glory, they will return to repopulate the world in a controlled manner. For Damian, this will take centuries. They'll be long dead by then. Obviously, they have a plan, and thanks to the restorative powers of the Lazarus Pit, their years in space will not be compromised by old age. As chief engineer in science, they must trust Zero. Meanwhile, Ra's al Ghul knows his situation has already become complicated. The next time his body expires, it will be the last, as the pit will be unable to revive him. Time moves on, and indeed, Ra's al Ghul dies. For Zero, this is tragic. The pit can no longer revive him. Therefore, the entire League feels it. Damian asks him to gather the people. They will say their farewells at dawn. Damian Wayne is now the head of the demon. The League of Assassins is his to command, as is he. Damian has nothing more to say than to ask him to continue with his grandfather's plan. Later on, the events we saw previously unfold when Batman of the future and Bruce Wayne arrived at these facilities. If you remember, Damian managed to change his mind and let them leave. He did not destroy the Earth. This is something that irritates Zero. With this, he ensured the destruction of the Earth and betrayed his grandfather. Damian knew there would be a time when Zero would turn against him. He thought it would take years, but he was wrong. It's true that effective betrayal takes time to organize, but he only needed months to poison his men against him. 9 hours ago, he made his move. He underestimated his discontent with his desire to find a solution that didn't involve the extermination of billions. When Damian was betrayed, at first he managed to defend himself, but there were many men after him. They were about to kill him when Goliath came to his rescue. Goliath has been with him since he was a child. Most think of him as a pet, but he also considers him a friend and a bodyguard. If it weren't for Goliath, the reconciliation they both experienced wouldn't have been possible. And that's how we return to the present, as Damian was telling his father and Terry what happened with his grandfather. Suddenly, the conversation is interrupted because they're being attacked. Although Bruce Wayne knows it's not exactly that they were found. To ensure Damian's death, they've decided to destroy the entire city. Batman of the future prepares to go out and fight. Damian tells him he won't be able to stop it alone. Terry hates to admit it, but he's right. Given the enemy's size, they need to work together quickly. Batman was outside trying to fight when he was knocked down from behind. It seems they don't stand a chance against this superior force because Goliath equals 100 of their men. Damian takes one of his father's gadgets and uses it to attack the enemy. Remember, the Bat family is neither alone nor complete without Batwoman, who has also arrived at the battlefield with a new suit. She got an upgrade capable of blocking sonics. That way, she can take down the emitter. It was originally made for Nightwing, but when he rejected it, she had to wear it because it remained in the family. She won't be the only Grayson here, as her father, Mayor Dick Grayson, has arrived. For him, it's pretty obvious that they need some help. With this, he'll remember the old days. It seems a true team has formed. Damian meets Dick, thinking he had left this life for politics. The truth is, he did leave it, but he's always willing to help. Bruce Wayne cannot stand by idly while his children fight. Eliminating a threat like this requires more power. Fortunately, they have options that will extend beyond Neo-Gotham. Meanwhile, the League of Assassins is preparing to bombard and annihilate. They must destroy the city immediately. Batwoman has realized this. They're charging up for a big killer shot. They must take down their command capability. Bruce Wayne activates the satellite and begins shooting. He can lend a hand from above. He's taking down the ship's entire propulsion system. Without it, there's no way it can stay in the area, so they have to clear everything. Batwoman asks what will happen if it crashes into the city. Batman tells her it won't. The ship's momentum will carry it out to sea. The ship has been taken down, but something is strange about all this. There's too much snow in this place. In a season like this, such a thing should be impossible. Bruce Wayne moves his satellite over the Himalayas to take a look and see what's happening. What he saw was a launch platform with large-scale space transporters launching, abandoning Earth. This can only mean that Zero has started his plan. A new ice age has been triggered. Of all the plans Damian saw, this one can't be stopped. The Bat family sets off to stop Zero, heading out in the Batwing. To Damian Wayne, this is ridiculous. The way Dick Grayson drives, it'll be a miracle if they reach their destination alive. Dick asks if he's been saving all those insults for this moment. Damian tells him he was the best Robin and also a superior pilot. He should have let him keep flying. Even Goliath is a better pilot than Dick. Elaine tells Damian that his father is as good a pilot as Batman's son. There's no argument for Damian in matters as obvious as this. Batman Beyond tells them that's enough. They don't have time for these discussions and must focus on their real problem to end this ice age. As they move forward, the sensors indicate that the entrance they're looking for is close. This might look like the Arctic, and it seems bad, but they're in Texas. The place they're looking for is under the snow, so Batwoman uses heat rays to melt it and enter with Damian Wayne's voice command. Dick urges everyone to get inside quickly. They won't win if they stay outside. Damian tells his brother that he really has a knack for stating the obvious. Batwoman asks if Damian has always been this pessimistic, and his father replies that yes, but this is him being cheerful. She should see him being truly pessimistic. Moving forward, they arrive at a vehicle capable of taking them to their destination. Zero and the League are sending their attack from space, so they have to go to space to stop them, and this ship is perfect for that. Batman notes that Ra's al Ghul was indeed prepared with a contingency plan, but Damian clarifies that this ship belongs to his father, not his grandfather. Back at the Neo-Gotham operations base, Matt is in awe, as Bruce Wayne has always been 2 steps ahead in technology. He has to be, especially with madmen like Zero who want to freeze the planet. The problem now is figuring out exactly how he's doing it. Bruce Wayne has an idea. Zero must have an orbital platform that has been deploying small satellites over Earth in the last 36 hours. These satellites seem to be creating a barrier that blocks sunlight, causing the world to cool at an alarming rate. Before they can continue, the city loses power and temperatures plummet to minus 40 degrees. Soon, people will start dying. Returning to Damian, he's frustrated that he's not the one piloting the ship. He could do it even in his sleep or in a coma. Batwoman finds it amusing that Bruce programmed the ship to sync only with the Batsuit, making Batman the only one who can fly it. Damian says his father just wanted to prevent unauthorized people from taking the ship. This includes him. Enough talk, it's time to leave. Batman takes off, excited to go into space. Damian tells him he's acting like a 6-year-old. Terry asks Damian to act as if he has no emotions. They're going to space, which is exciting. Damian has been to universes and dimensions Terry can't even comprehend. Going to space is not thrilling by comparison. Once they leave the planet, they realize Bruce was right. There's a massive barrier deflecting solar heat away from Earth. The barrier is still incomplete. This is a launch platform, and they operate from this site, which is heavily fortified. The League of Assassins detects their arrival and prepares to attack. The battle begins, and Damian tells Elena to be well prepared. Of course, she is, and knows they need to clear a path for landing. Batman and Batwoman exit the ship and destroy the laser turrets to stop the attacks. Once they've disabled the turrets, they connect the ship to a platform to access the base. Batwoman asks if they think the League is expecting them. Damian replies that they're in the League of Assassins territory. They're prepared to face avenging angels from the sky, beasts from hell, and anything else that stands in their way. It's only 4 of them against hundreds. These men betrayed Damian, and he'll make them fall like the traitors they are. They must kill them as soon as possible, because they are the most lethal assassins ever assembled and won't stop until they're dead. Batman, however, doesn't want to kill them, so he'll put them to sleep with a prepared gas. Meanwhile, Bruce Wayne attempts to restore power, but the entire system is frozen. The winds and temperatures are causing his system and crystals to shatter. Back with Batwoman, she asks how many men are on this ship. Damian replies that there are approximately 1,100, definitely more warriors than they can defeat. Moving forward, Damian notices something odd. This room wasn't in Zero's plans. The new leader appears and tells Damian that, of course, he wouldn't let him see his true plan. He knew that one day Damian would come after him and pursue him to his space base. Damian should take his last breaths, knowing that his grandfather's vision will soon be realized. Life on Earth will be exterminated to be reborn with the purity Ra's al Ghul always dreamed of. Damian and the others are about to be thrown from the space base. Batman Beyond is the first to be expelled. Goliath blocks the door and uses his body to prevent Elena and Damian from being lost in space. Batwoman takes advantage of this to use her weaponry and seal the hatch. Unfortunately, the controls aren't working, and Damian knows time is running out. Goliath can't hold on much longer. Damian realizes that the circuits are their only chance to close the door. Meanwhile, Batman does everything he can to use his suit to propel himself back to the base. Goliath grabs his hand to bring him back, and Damian manages to close the hatch so they can all keep breathing. Back in Gotham City, Bruce knows that humanity will start dying soon, and he has to do something. In the midst of the snow, Barbara arrives with a Batmobile. It seems Batman's atomic batteries managed to power it up. It's time to go and see the rest of the city. This is worse than Bruce expected. There's no light anywhere, and the entire city has lost power. At the rate the planet is freezing, everyone on Earth will die. On the other hand, Zero, the leader, celebrates his victory. Ra's al Ghul's dreams are about to come true, and it is a blessing that they are all instruments of his justice and righteousness. He stands on the cusp of humanity, paying for its profanation. But before he can continue, Damian interrupts his speech. Zero will be the one to pay the price for freezing this planet. Zero was so confident in his plan to throw them into space that he forgot just how deadly Damian can be. They will hold off as long as possible until the rest of their reinforcements arrive. Meanwhile, Dick Grayson is working from Earth, looking for any plan that might help. Bruce Wayne is the most prepared person who ever walked the planet. He has unimaginable contingency plans. For example, he has a fleet of communication satellites. Well, that's what he told the world, without mentioning that Bruce equipped them with special gear, which he'll now use to activate all the space drones he can. Batman knows Dick is in motion, so they must hurry and go after Zero. Damian tells him he has dishonored his grandfather. Ra's al Ghul would never approve of Zero leading a rebellion against his own grandson. Zero replies that he's only brought Ra's vision to life, while Damian tries to kill his dream. Damian tells him that a plan that involves killing humanity is not a dream, it's a nightmare. He will end that plan and leave Zero's fate in the hands of inferior beings. Batman can't believe he's been called an inferior being. Making friends definitely isn't one of Damian Wayne's strengths. Batman's son doesn't need more friends. He has Goliath, who always has his back. Dick Grayson communicates, telling them he's in position, and Damian knows they'll be able to finish this as long as Elena completes her mission. Elena, annoyed, vows to show her true capability. Dick tells his daughter not to let Damian's words affect her. He's calculated their best chance to end this, and all she needs to do is take out the spheres around her, creating a chain reaction so powerful that part of the screen will stop working. To Damian, it's a good start. He knows his grandfather's override codes and will keep them functioning until the threat is over. Elena doesn't understand why the rest of the spheres are exploding. Dick tells her that eliminating the crucial satellites causes the rest to be unable to handle the surge of energy. Zero, furious, is determined to finish off all his enemies. But Batman arrives in time to destroy Zero's weapon and delivers a strong punch, slamming him against the wall. Everything is going well for the Bat family, but the explosions are closing in. They must get out of there as quickly as possible. After advancing, they reach Bruce Wayne's ship and manage to escape just before the base explodes. Zero can't believe this is happening. He'll be trapped in this place as the base goes off course, leaving him stranded in space, with an eternal ice age awaiting him in the cold, endless darkness of space. The next day, everything begins to return to normal. Power is restored, the world's climate is stabilizing, and technology is working again. As for Zero, his platform drifts aimlessly in space, although the system continues to detect life signs there. To Damian, that's the fate a traitor deserves. Terry tells him he could take advantage of this and rebuild his organization. Ra's al Ghul must have had many resources and manpower, and some of those people might still be loyal to Damian. He could use them to eliminate his grandfather's destructive plans and use those resources to improve the planet. Damian knows the scale of humanity's problems goes beyond those resources. Bruce knows it too, but suggests that this time they work together again as Batman and Robin. They can revive that partnership to combine their strengths and improve the world. No matter what, Damian must no longer follow his grandfather's path. He must not follow the path of disaster. Damian agrees to work with his father, just as he once did as his Robin. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for more content like this. I'm TJ Prime, and see you in the next video.